pool play and in the quarterfinals, but were then shut out by Australia in last weekend's semi-final. The playoff for third and fourth is tonight at the Rugby World Cup. Hello from Sydney once again, where the All Blacks make their farewell appearance at the World Cup 2003. And it's not the match all we All Black fans were hoping for, and it's a hard one for the All Blacks to build up for. But they are setting their sights on winning, especially now that they've sort of come to grips with losing that semi-final and therefore ruining their chance of winning the Rugby World Cup for a second time. Well, I'm joined tonight by our panellists again, Gary Wetton and Mark Robinson. And Gary, first of all, how do you view this match for third and fourth? You've been there and done it.
Yes, unfortunately, been there, I've done that. It's a very hard game to build up for. A lot of players think, well, why are we doing it? But it's there, and really it's an opportunity, I think, for the All Blacks to prove a point to their fans, to themselves. They're a young team, and hopefully they'll go out proving to the world that they are a very good rugby team. Yeah,
and Mark, of course, the French are one of those teams that seem to have the wood on us occasionally, don't they? We don't want to make it easy for them.
Oh, not at all. I mean, any test match is one that you know, is to be treasured, and these guys will be, you know, the All Blacks will be desperately wanting to win.
Yeah.
The French, they've gone on with two different approaches. The French have, you know, got the totally new side virtually,
yes.
and the All Blacks are, you know, they're the side they've gone with, you know, for the past few weeks. So it'll be interesting to see which approach works best.
Obviously, all the All Blacks are fresh mentally still, because that sometimes, I imagine, is the problem, isn't it? You're a bit down mentally.
Well, the fact that they've chosen them again, I think they've all put their hand up and said, look, we do want to play, we want to make up for what we didn't produce or show in the semi-final. And so it'll be a great test for them. If they get that right, it'll lead well, if we can, for the following years.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got a comment coming from Grant Fox and John Hart at the ground very soon. But one of the highlights of the All Blacks over the last couple of years has been the emergence of some players of real class. And one of those is the lock, Ali Williams.
Seen some of these before, mate? Buy these for $159.
Go right round the bottom of your back.
An inch. 52 inches here, mate.
Actually, that was mate, your flies hanging low, eh?
You got your flies.
Mate, I'm serious. Flies hanging low, mate. Very good.
The smiles are at last back on All Black faces. It may not be the game they wanted, but there's still one last match to fire for.
At the end of the day, we've got no choice. We've still got one more job to do, and to go out in a rugby field flat or down or depressed is not a good way to go.
A roller coaster ride sums up Ali Williams' World Cup, a broken foot, a starring role against Wales,
And Williams is in for it!
and then the shock defeat to Australia. Williams wants that loss to be their only of the World Cup.
How can we go home disappointing the people in New Zealand? I think we can get over a game where things probably didn't function as well as we wanted them to, but it's the people of New Zealand that have put so much into it for the lead up for this whole tournament, and to let them down. I mean, you just hear the stories of work, banter and things like that. It's just hard, and we wouldn't want to put another loss on them, if anything. So we'll be giving our all to redeem a bit of work pride.
So many tears I've cried, so much pain inside, but baby, it ain't over till it's over.
I spoke to my mum the other day, and she said there's a flag in Waiheke saying that we still love you boys, so told everyone, and you know, and things like that we see around will just sort of reinforce to us that, you know, at the end of the day it's sport. And you do have ups and downs, but it's not the be-all and end-all of life. So, yeah, things like that are appreciated, and they don't go unnoticed, especially when we're hurting.
That's a good positive attitude there from the All Blacks. So in a little over 20 minutes, it's the All Blacks playing France. Will it be third place for the All Blacks at this Rugby World Cup? Back soon.
and Coca-Cola proudly present this year's biggest sporting event.
Bring on the Rugby World Cup. There is only one.
Hi, my name's Kate. I live in Dunedin. This is my son Harrison, and we're due to have our second son on the day of the final of the Rugby World Cup, and we're loving the coverage so far.
And the good news is that Kate had that baby this morning. So Kate and Steve Croy from Dunedin. Oliver Nicholas is the name of the young brother for Harrison. So congratulations, and we know everything's well. Good on you. Now, we go to the ground to talk about this game between the All Blacks and France with John Hart and Grant Fox. And Grant, first of all, should teams, do you think, be proud to be finishing third or playing for the bronze medal, basically, or do you think it's too much for them to get up after the semi-finals?
Well, I don't think the difference between third and fourth is much, John. Perhaps it's the seedings for the next World Cup. There's something like that on it. But this game's about pride. It's not about third and fourth. There's another test match for your country. Short preparation time is difficult. You know, maybe there is another way they can do this, John Hart.
Yeah, well, I think the third and fourth game really struggles to have a place. But maybe if we looked at it in terms of celebrating the World Cup, it would be better to have a barbarian-type fixture where you brought together some of the outstanding players of a tournament from the other teams to play in a game, which I think would have a much better atmosphere to it than a game where two teams really are struggling to get up for.
And the two teams have taken totally different attitudes to this. The All Blacks have said, let's have our same team as played in the semi-final, and the French have said, well, we're only playing a couple from last week. So different attitudes, aren't they?
Yes, and you know, both have got both could be right, and maybe at the end of a game we'll know that. But obviously, and I've been in this situation in '99 when we took the attitude we'd give the players the chance to redeem themselves. We didn't get up on that occasion. This side here tonight is a younger side, and I think they will get up. I think the All Blacks will play well tonight. The French have really thrown in a young side looking to the future, so there's two different approaches. But I think the game could be a real exciting occasion because if both teams give the ball air, they are the two exciting teams of the World Cup.
John, the French have picked pretty much the same team that lost heavily to England at Twickenham just before the World Cup, and 9 of the side played the All Blacks in Christchurch. So they're not a bad side, heavily beaten by England, but they were very competitive against the All Blacks in Christchurch. So the conditions are good tonight. It could be a hell of a game.
Oh, I think so, yeah. I'm quite excited about this one, even if it is for third and fourth and not the final. Thanks, John and Grant. Well, another of the players who's really hit the headlines this year has been the young Auckland winger, Joe Rokocoko.
Yeah, we've got to, gain some pride. The pride's still there. The boys, they're still running out of the field and, very passionate about who they're representing. And, come Thursday night, the guys, nothing will change. They'll still have the same passion of wanting to win.
All he'd touched had turned to gold until that World Cup semi-final last Saturday night. Previously, Joe Rokocoko had cut a swathe through his rookie year, scoring a record 16 tries in 10 tests. But it all came to a screeching halt at a graveyard called Telstra Stadium. Say it ain't so, Joe.
We've done so well this year, and we're not going to let a game destroy us coming to the end of the year. So it's something we just got to finish on a high.
Rokocoko has one thing in his favour ahead of tonight's game of shame. At 20, he's a good chance of another shot at redemption in 4 years' time.
Just for the young guys, kind of had a bit of a talk to each other. We were pretty gutted that we couldn't do it for the senior guys that coming towards the end of the career or maybe going to overseas, and we're pretty shattered to see the senior members really down.
What will you personally sort of remember about that occasion?
I guess the chances are there. Take your chances while it's there. Once that game's finished, it's finished. It's history.
Still, it's not all doom and gloom. The All Blacks have been lifted by a strong show of support from back home.
We've been overwhelmed, really. We've got lots of faxes coming into the hotel, it's just one of those things, I guess it's brought the nation together, and that's what we really need. No, we're bouncing back. We're bouncing back.
Yes, one of the stars of this tournament as well as New Zealand's year. One game to go, the All Blacks against France, the playoff for third and fourth, and the French are fielding practically a completely new side.
Some people maybe question, you know, is there a need to play off for third place, but it's the way it is, and you know, it's still a match. New Zealand, there we go, I'm speaking of French, right?
New Zealand contre la France?
Yeah, it's still New Zealand contre la France, donc still a, you know, a test match, and I think over the years, you know, there's been a big rivalry between New Zealand and France, and I expect Thursday to be no different.
I became captain for a second time, and it's a good pleasure because the game is against New Zealand, and it's always a special moment for the French team when we play against New Zealand.
I am very happy to play. I didn't know I will play this match, but Fabien has announced he will stop his career after the semi-final, so I'm very happy, and I've never played against New Zealand, so I am very happy.
I was in the French squad who made the summer tour in Argentina and New Zealand in June, and I play in Christchurch against All Black. So I know them, I know the way they play, and we try to make our best, and we know we think that they could be disappointed like us because they lost in semi-final, but I'm sure they will prepare the match, and it will be a good game.
I think as far as I'm concerned, the French are concerned will be going out there to play rugby and hopefully to win, and I hope that, you know, the Kiwis are the same.
What will the French produce tonight against the All Blacks? Should we be worried? The playoff for third and fourth next.
It's the biggest event in this year's sporting calendar. We may not be there, but the spectacle will be huge and the action fierce. The two teams we love to hate, Australia and England, do battle for rugby's greatest prize. Southern Hemisphere versus Northern, speed versus power, flair versus solidity. Will this be the outcome? The Rugby World Cup Final, Saturday on One Sport.
Je sais pas, je me lève juste dire bonjour à tous les Français en Nouvelle-Zélande. Merci pour votre soutien. Moi, même si je suis né en Nouvelle-Zélande, aujourd'hui je suis français, et ça m'attend de jouer le match jeudi soir, et j'espère pour moi et pour l'équipe qu'on a une belle victoire.
He did that for all you young New Zealanders learning French. So now you've got to go back and work out what Tony Marsh was saying. He's picked up that language pretty quickly, hasn't he? He's playing this evening against the All Blacks, the playoff for third and fourth. Who's going to win? Well, EA Sports Cyberstrator have got all the facts, all the data on each of the players. They've put it into their computer and come up with this prediction.
Cyberstrator, technology by EA Sports.
Oh no, our heads slump. Will this semi-final hangover continue? An early, easy try to France, plus the conversion. But as we know, we're told often, it's all about winning, not about style. An outstanding penalty by McDonald. That was truly magnificent. France move it beautifully with joie de vivre. And while the All Blacks stand around, all they can do is watch and say sacre bleu and bagueur. Oh, this is outstanding. Look at the style. Superb penalty. So that's one for vous and one for moi. But we're only kidding, really. In between all this, there are some spectacular tries, like this one for Howlands. Leon turns it into a 7-pointer. And then he's back at the line with this next try by the All Blacks. His last points for the All Blacks, Leon McDonald. And where's Ruben? Well, here he is, and the All Blacks win. 44-27.
Cyber Straight, technology by EA Sports.
So there we are. That's what EA Sports Cyber Straighter thinks will happen tonight in this playoff for 3rd and 4th. The All Blacks are against the French, and we're back with that live free-to-air rugby very soon.
Tonight's game is proudly brought to you by the 2003 Rugby World Cup sponsors. Heineken, a worldwide partner of the Rugby World Cup 2003. Visa, thanking all the champions who make the game we love, the game it is. And Coca-Cola, real passion.
Playoff for 3rd and 4th. It's New Zealand against France. The 3rd time New Zealand has played this game. For France, it's the 2nd time. Our commentators free to air on One Sport are Grant Fox, John Hart and Keith Quinn.
Good evening from Telstra Stadium in Sydney. This is a hard one for New Zealanders to bite on perhaps, and perhaps a hard game to pick. Let's see how the toss between Yannick Brew and Ruben Thorne pans out.
Would you like to play which way?
I don't know. I have to tell you right now.
I think so, yeah. Can you?
We play right.
So you start here and play that way. Okay, so it's left to right as we go. I need your help today. Okay? Let's play some rugby. I need your help today. Understand? Thank you. Cheers. Good luck. Good luck.
Well, there it is. Referee Chris White has asked the two captains. He needs their help. Grant Fox is with me. John Hart, that's a good start.
Yeah, I think that it's a difficult game for both sides. I don't think the difference between 3rd and 4th is very much. I think Chris White wants a spectacle. He knows the weather conditions are good, that both sides like to throw the ball around. He's looking for attitude at the breakdown. Not too many infringements there, and we'll get the game going.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's not an easy game for the teams. The referee, it shouldn't make any difference to the referee, really. It's really the attitude of the teams, which will be crucial here tonight. I think both sides will be positive. They've got nothing to lose. They've got a lot to win. It is a test match between two great countries.
So we've got a crowd in attendance tonight, plenty of support from France and New Zealand fans. A crowd in attendance of, we think, about half full in Telstra Stadium, so that puts it at about over 40,000. So I guess for a 3rd place match, that's not too bad, but we wait now for the arrival of the two teams, France and New Zealand. This is a game which both sides naturally would have hoped that this would have been the grand final for the World Cup, but it isn't, and it is what it is. A 3rd place battle between these two great rugby nations who go back in their sporting relationship on this in this type of game to 1906. So we just wait for the theme that plays down. That gentleman there is at all the major sports events involving French sporting teams of all codes. And I guess we hope for a good spectacle tonight. I know one of the French TV commentators was telling me that they hope France will win because of the seedings for the next World Cup. And they've worked it out that if they win tonight, they'll play Ireland in the opening match in 2007 in Paris, and if they lose, they'll play South Africa. So they've worked a little bit further on in their thinking than we have in this broadcast box. I think for New Zealanders, it's just the hope that it's a victory tonight so that they can go home with 3rd place and not 4th. New Zealand have played this 3rd and 4th game twice before, for a win in 1991 and a loss in 99. And we noticed straight away that the New Zealander, Tony Marsh, on the right, has been asked to lead out the French team. Ruben Thorne there, of course, and what a thrill for Tony Marsh, 31-year-old New Zealander, who has had a tremendous battle to be here tonight, shaking hands with one of the non-playing players, and he's allowed to run out onto the oval by himself. What a tremendous gesture by the French team to allow the New Zealanders, the New Zealander Tony Marsh, to come out against his fellow countrymen, and that's a mark of regard for him. not only for his talents as a rugby player, but for the tremendous battle he's had over a dreadful illness this year to be here tonight. You remember just a year ago he felt an injury in his groin. It was after blood test revealed he had testicular cancer. In March there was a cancerous tumour removed. In March he also started chemotherapy. In July he resumed training, and only late September was he past fit to be included in the French team, and here he is now playing against his former fellow countrymen. There's the French team tonight, captained in fact by number 2 Yannick Brou, and look for him tonight. With the absence now of Fabien Gaultier, it's suggested that he could be the next captain of the top French 15. That's the French team, only Marconnet and Marsh doubling up from last weekend. And here's the New Zealand team with Reuben Thorne again, the captain, and only one change in this New Zealand 15 that played and lost to Australia in the playing of that semi-final last week. And number 9, Steve Devine, comes in place of Justin Marshall. One change also in the New Zealand reserves. And now the national anthems of France and New Zealand. Okay, all set. Wonderful singing for the whole of the World Cup by Olivia Fraser and Nick Foa. And now the haka laid down by the New Zealand team. We have a quick look at the reserves. Carl Hoft has come in to the New Zealand reserves. Otherwise, it's the same as played Australia. And a very strong reserve bench for France tonight. Number of their top players in the reserves. Now the haka will be led again by Carlos Spencer. Well, a quick look there at Tony Marsh. Of course, he was in the New Zealand Maori teams in his previous life, and New Zealand A, and would have done the haka in the other direction as we see Dave Hewitt's big finale.
Well, the French are really ready for this game, I think, Keith. Just watching their national anthem, they really are. There's a lot of passion in those eyes there tonight. So I think the French are going to give us plenty, and I hope they do, because, you know, fielding virtually a second-string team could have its downfalls, but then they've got the opportunity, and they certainly look fired up tonight.
Aaron Major, Sylvain Makane. Tremendous players in this game tonight. The French are saying it's a second. Some are saying it's a second 15 for the French, but we'll see. A lot of these players played in Christchurch against New Zealand earlier in the year. So the third place game begins, and we ask the question, which of these teams will win, of course, and which of these teams will really go home with flat beer. And the man who's kicking the ball there is Gerald Merceron, and a significant night for him tonight. There he is, 30 test matches and 30 years of age, and he is retiring from international rugby after the completion of this game tonight. So sadness for him after an excellent career for the French 15.
Well, first line out tonight for the All Blacks. They've gone to a full option, gone for the money ball at the front to make sure they secure possession.
Lots of early chat from the New Zealand team. Collins is there, number 9 for France's Dimitriashvili. It's gone to Spencer, and he sent it high towards Poitrenaud and Eloga, and it's a nice catch by Pepito Eloga, who is normally a fullback, and he crowded in on Poitrenaud's land there, and he sends a very good kick away. There is Pepito Eloga.
Well, certainly the Poitrenaud and Eloga nearly got caught together here, but he has cleared sensationally and put the All Blacks back into their own 22.
It wasn't a bad kick from Spencer either. Chance for the All Blacks to compete. Eloga did very, very well indeed.
One of the things about this French team, they've got Eloga, they've got Poitrenaud, they've got Trahi, and they've got Brusque in the reserves. Very long punters of the ball.
5-man option, actually 4-man plus 1 walk-in option for the All Blacks.
Chris Jack goes highest. Mealamu now. Divine for the first time. It's Collins. Not quite getting going at full clip out there in the centre. So too is Ali Williams. There is Steve Devine. Away to Spencer. And now he puts a little bouncing banana. Oh, this is interesting for Rokathoka, but it hopped away from him. Jack. Collins, a big one. That's the first time we've seen this. And straight onto him is David Bory. But here goes Howlett, chased by Marsh and Trahi.
What an outstanding piece of football by Carlos Spencer to put that kick ahead off the inside of his foot and nearly freed up Rokafoko. The ball went eventually going the other side, and the All Blacks unable to make progress down that wing.
Actually, I think the option for Doug Howlett was the in-pass. We had support in Aaron Major. Howlett, I think, should have kept that in hand.
New Zealand getting early possession. There is Leon MacDonald, the last game for him tonight for the All Blacks. Remember, he's off to that contract for 2 years in Japan. Well, it may not be the last game, I suppose. He could come back after 2 years, but that's where he's headed immediately after this game. And it's on for an intercept, as we saw the other night from Sterling Mortlock, but Eloy couldn't quite get away.
And Leon MacDonald in trouble at the back. I think he took a heavy fall there.
Yeah, he carted the ball up in the midfield and got heavily tackled.
It's a bit slippery, Grant, down here in this line along this near touchline.
Well, maybe a bit of dew about. We saw that the other night, and Reuben Thorne did make the comment after the game. The ball was slippery and difficult to handle. So conditions, while it's good overhead, perhaps there is just some dew on the field.
The All Blacks just going to have to watch some of these wide passes, because I see the French are looking for the intercept. I think in the right-hand attack earlier when they went out to Doug Howell, if they'd used the hands more, they might have been dangerous. McDonald limping back into play, but whether he's 100%, he doesn't look good at the moment. All Black scrum. Good attacking option.
And Rocco Thocco has gone across behind Aaron Major, so perhaps a wide move option here for the All Blacks, using a decoy runner in the midfield and looking to hit Rocco Thocco wide.
Maybe that's to leave Macdonald out in this next one, because he doesn't look 100%. Let's see where it goes. It's with Spencer, and Major cracks through. McCaw at the 22. Good tackle on him by Eloga, and kicked away. And Devine does the spectacular dive, but the whistle had gone.
Great pass from Spencer to put Major in the gap, and superb support play. Look at this little short pass. Major hits the gap, and look who's on his shoulder. McCaw, who takes on the fullback, makes his tackle, tries to pop it up to Devine, and there the knock-on occurs.
Good option, though, because they were looking for Rocco Thocco wide, so there was a hole in the midfield for Major to go through.
So Dave Hewitt is propping against Jean-Baptiste Pooks, and now Yashvili is the scrum half.
It's never left the ruck. It's never left the ruck. The counter ruck was okay, but it hasn't left
the All Black forwards penalised for coming through, and the ruck is still in play to give the French a chance to release some pressure.
I should have mentioned this guy is one of the good punters of the ball as well, Merceron, and he's cleared that one into the New Zealand territory to the 10-metre mark.
The All Blacks already tonight showing some variation, you know, the kick, the ability, the short pass, the wide angles that they're running. So they're really tonight, I think, going to mix it up, which is probably what we didn't see last Saturday.
Full line out for the French.
Now there's Tobacco, Patrick Tobacco. Now he is a very good line-out addition to the French pack for this game. Very tall and very light. He's only 97 kg, so he's easy to lift. Messeron now, out to Marsh. Marsh out to Poitrenaud, up from fullback. And there is Messeron at scrum half, where he plays a lot. And there is Yashvili at fly half, where he plays a lot. These guys mix it up a bit more in French club play than perhaps we do in New Zealand. And there is Labitte, carried on, Christian Labitte. This is good from the French team. Yashvili out to Makone. Yashvili again. Merceron. Reuben Thorne is back. And it's Poitrenaud who gets to him. And here's a New Zealand long ball. Those long passes. That was a good tackle there by Chaval. Now Rocco ranging out into the midfield.
Okay. Contest now, let go glass. Scrum down, going forward.
Well, the All Blacks needed numbers there quicker. It was a great pass from Spencer to free Rocco Thocco up, but the All Blacks need quicker ruck ball. We just see the replay here.
Huge tackle. Spencer was very lucky to get this ball away. He did exceptionally well to get it up to Rocco Thocco here, who made ground quickly, decided there was nothing he could do this side, so he went into the middle of the field to link with his support.
It's got to be right.
Back formation. Spencer is directly behind the scrum. Mulioina is out to the right with Howlett. The other backs are out wide to the left. Options both sides.
So it's gone to Devine, but a bounce ball to him. Here's Mulioina. Tackler is Damien Trahi for the first time. We see him.
Let go, Bryce. Let go.
Very tall, second 5'8" for France.
Let go, tackler.
Might see him come into some of the long-range shots at goal. Trahi. More long passing. And here is McDonald. Here is Rocco Thocco now at halfway. Oh, beautifully picked up by Yashvili. One to beat. He chips it ahead. Tobacco's in a chase. And Yashvili is down at the 22. Peter Marshall's come in. He's happy with the charge against Yashvili, and play will go on.
Well, not the right option. Joe Rokothoko needed to drop on the inside of Aaron Major. That's where the space was, but there was no cover defence in behind here for the All Blacks.
And Yashvili did very well, put the kick up, and but for the bounce of the ball, that rugby ball that goes anywhere, it bounced over all of the French players coming in pursuit. Great attacking option, France.
So they'll use this time the new man, Thibaut Privat. That's him with the beard, number 5, brand new into the French team. And it's gone to Yashvili, goes to Merceron. He stabs up a little kick, and now the chase is up. Papito Aloga saved. It's a loose
knock on. He kept out of the way. He's run that.
Oh boy, this is a lot of action for us to have a look at, contemplate, and savour.
Yeah, it's excellent. There's a lot of variety going on. Some short kicking, and here we saw Ali Williams trying to regain possession. He was perhaps lucky that the French didn't get it here and move it quickly left because they had an overlap.
French midfield backs, interesting formation. They're just about standing all behind Merceron, although Marsh is coming to the right now.
Labit has a look, gets it away to Yashvili. He's nearly there. He's just short.
He's been held. You're off your feet there, leaning down on top.
Penalising the All Blacks for leaving their feet at that ruck, and Yashvili was only just pulled up short. Looking for the inside pass. He makes the gap, gets halfway through, he turns looking inside and then has a go himself. And it's here that the New Zealand side are penalised for leaving their feet.
Interesting call here by Yannick Brou, the French captain, to shoot for goal. After the last line out in this part of the field, the French put a drive on and very nearly got through. I thought they might have backed themselves again, but they've gone to Merceron, who has scored 267 test points. He's in his 32nd test tonight, so he's quite an experienced player.
So this is a guy that plays alongside Tony Marsh for the Montferrand club, but he's retiring from the international scene, but is going to carry on with the club.
I'd say the French are very confident he's going to get this over because about 8 of them will come over to the sideline to have drinks.
10 minutes gone. And they can put away the drinks because the game goes on, no score. Just outside to the right. Quattrino. Muliena, a good jump and catch. Devine. Howard through the middle. Another look away pass. McDonald. Howard again. Rokotoko's there as they come inside the 22. Collins. And the big Chris Jack gets a pass from Collins. Gets a try for New Zealand.
This try down to an excellent pass from Spencer inside to Howlett. Howlett had the presence of mind to link outside, took the ball back on the inside again, and then when the ruck is formed, the New Zealanders are there, and Collins gives it to Jack, who's on the burst, a very ineffectual tackle, and he's gone over to score handy to a post. Good play by the All Blacks.
David Borey there missing the tackle. Kicker is McDonald. 12 minutes gone. And over it goes. New Zealand 7, France 0.
Well, McDonald's limping. I think he hurt his left ankle in that tackle, and that's his plant foot. Just watch the replay. Again, good work by Collins to go into halfback. Jack read it well. Flat pass. Big man against a little man. That's not always an even contest, obviously. Jack too good for David Borey on that occasion.
So there's Chris Jack, his third try in Test rugby. He's been going 24 tests. This is his 25th. Rokethoko to Major. Now Chris Jack at the second 5'8" this time. Carlos, nice pass out to Mealamu, but again, Bori was coming in looking for maybe for the runaway. Now, Harley Williams has gone back to play fullback here. You see him ranging up. Well, there's Somerville. Clement Poitrenaud. And there's Williams up there for the tackle.
Let go now, let go. Move away, please. Thank you.
Yashvili, he's very strong on the kick, Yashvili, and that's a good one because they've got a good high bounce, and Howlett is caught by Bori and Marsh. And that's a major feature of Yashvili's game. He's a very good tactical kicker. And now they have Labit.
Now let go, Blacks, let go.
Yashvili. Bori coming in there.
There'll be no advantage.
But he's lost it.
I'd be very surprised if McDonald stays on much longer. He's limping quite badly now.
Yeah, he doesn't look good, does he? Trying to walk it off, and just we watched the replay here. That was Bori. Double knock on as Devine went in to get the ball. Just from an All Black perspective with a wide pass, I would like to see them with a little more depth in the midfield. The pass is a bit flat at the moment. The defence is approaching. If we take a bit more depth, we might be able to catch and pass, because the French are certainly rushing up from the outside and leaving the last man free. So if we can get it through our hands, there is space out there.
Richie McCaw coming to the blood bin, replaced by Marty Holler.
Collins also getting treatment. McDonald looks like he needs treatment, but did he have a little bit of treatment there? I'm not sure.
Possibly a running option here again for the All Blacks. They've gone to the midfield formation they use with Spencer behind the scrum. So they may go right. They might look left, because Marsh is the only one out to the left, and that's the option for the All Blacks if they see it.
You can't put that in there, it's moving. Stationary.
So they've tapped and gone for this free kicker. Collins looking for space. He's caught there by Tobacco.
Let go, hands away. Penalty,
Dave Hewitt is in the pick and go. And that's against Marty Holler. He stopped defenders getting at Hewitt. And so this is right out in front and about 38 metres on the angle.
Yeah, Marty Holler clearly took that player out as Dave Hewitt picked the ball up and went through.
Yes, the old second look clearly shows that one. Now, David Uradu was taken out. He's the big number 4. Ruben Thorne, captain for the 22nd time tonight.
Well, goal kicker looks like Yashvili. Interesting. Pretty tough call. Merceron gets one, misses. You're off. Time for someone else.
Wouldn't happen to your day, Foxy.
I'd have got the ball very quickly.
I've got another guy too, Damien Trae, the second 5'8", to number 12, will probably kick as well for the long ones. That's nice. New Zealand 7, France 3. Time gone 16 minutes.
Looking like a split kickoff option here for the All Blacks. Holler and Collins have gone out to the right. Don't think it's been spotted by the French yet.
French are very deep on that side, aren't they? He's moving them up now. Marsh has read it and they've moved them up to cover the space.
Good even game as we come towards the end of the first quarter. Deep kickoff taken by Eloga. There's another one of his replies. Not such a good one this time. This is a guy who's never played in the Six Nations Championship, and this is his 10th Test match. He's played them all on tours down under.
Possibly those kicks, Grant, are just going too deep, just too far, giving the French too much time to clear.
Well, they wanted the ball back for a line out. I think that's the other option that comes out of it, and they've got it, and they've got a good drive on here.
Here is Spencer showing us a nice bounce. It's hopped away from Major, but maybe not from Devine. And Rokotoko now. Try line just ahead.
Well, we're seeing variation tonight, much more than we saw the other night. To be fair, the All Blacks didn't have a lot of ball early in the game last week. But tonight they've had a bit, and they're trying many different options. Steve Devine hasn't scored a test try yet, playing in his 10th test tonight, so his eyes would have been lighting up for a little while.
And so, way out of picture, we see Daniel Carter on for Leon McDonald. So if that's the end of Leon McDonald for the All Blacks, then that's a sad way to go, but he's hobbling off the field. Thankfully, not a return to his concussion problems, but away he goes into a new direction in his rugby life in Japan. Merceron.
Well, I think the addition of Carter will be exciting. He's a wonderfully gifted player. He's had a good tournament, and he hasn't had many opportunities. So this time we'll see Major moving out, I think, to centre, and Carter into second 5'8". I don't think this weakens the All Blacks at all. It opens up more opportunities.
I think that's the way you guys discussed it as an option earlier today.
Yeah, we certainly did.
So we'll see what happens. There's a couple of big lumbering forwards have got out there to be in the line. You see them there. Collins is one. Straight away, it's Major through. Bourie's done a couple of good defensive moves in the last few minutes after missing Chris Jack when the try was scored.
There's two people there not letting go of it, you and you.
The All Blacks have used that tactic quite a bit to drop their 7 and 8 out to the midfield off a drive from the front, looking for a midfield target option usually, and they put the loose forwards out there to clean the ruck quickly and try and get quick ruck ball and take it the same way.
See Hollis still on the field. All kick through onto the French side. Yash really looks a very nice player, doesn't he? Out to Marsh. Rokotoko goes back. Nice play, Tony Marsh, he says. He does all his thinking now on the field and in his life in French. Still got the few good Kiwi colloquialisms in his English.
That scrum was lost because the ball was kicked forward by Marty Holler once the All Blacks had it under control.
By Collins. First touch for Daniel Carter. This is his 8th test match beginning this year. Halfway line. Muliaina. Wonderbeat. Howlett inside him. Doug Howlett.
Well, Muliaina came back on the angle here and absolutely beat the French. Then had the presence of mind. He found Howlett ever present on the inside, and Howlett's gone in for his 31st test try.
Just look at it again. You watch Steve Devine come up here screaming Mills for the ball. I bet he was asking it from Dougie because he wants his first test try. Howlett wasn't going to do that to him.
The one-on-one defence from the French team is starting to fall away. Interesting, Daniel Carter taking over the goal kicking and making no mistake.
Yeah, here we go again. They took the French loose forwards out at the ruck, and that's why the defence was thin on the far side. And so the cutback often works, as it did then. Good play, good thinking by the All Blacks.
14-3, first half, 21 minutes gone. Yes, Howlett adds another one to his test match total.
I think the French would have to get into the game now to have any chance at all.
So, okay, Merceron. That's when he's bounced towards Rokothoko. It's in the dead ball area there. And now up to the 22 for the restart.
I think some of the French players are finding the pace of this game a little bit quicker than they might have been used to.
Well, that's right, John. A lot of them haven't played since the game against USA, and there's been the quarter-final, the semi-final since, so that's 2.5 weeks. Aloga. Covered by Rokothoko again, except this is still in the field of play. Muliaina, this is the one. You see how the two men have got back to back him up as Carlos kicking into green pastures.
You knocked it off.
Carlos asking the referee for forgiveness, but he certainly knocked the ball on, unfortunately.
Well, he would beg to differ. That angle doesn't really show up, but the ref was in a good position, so fair enough call.
Labit. Yashvili. Orodu. Big hard man in the centre. Now that's rolled forward. Might be advantage being played there. Yes. Mealamu takes it forward. Devine now to Spencer's outside the 22. And here's a chase coming from Howlett. And Pozzano. Howlett gets it. Oh, good tackle by Marsh on Carter. And they just wait at the 22 for big Somerville to arrive. Devine, that's not the try line, folks. That's only the 22. Mealamu, there it is, the top view. Kevin Mealamu over the 22. And we see Richie McCaw back on the field.
That ball was knocked on there.
Well, there was a lot of space there at that turnover. Guess who's coming into picture again? Devine. He's hunting the ball tonight. Somerville, he hasn't scored a test try either. He was there.
I think the All Blacks might be disappointed they didn't score them, because when the ruck was formed, they had clear overlaps on the left, and they just took too long to clear the ball. Howlett in devastating form tonight.
Devine down.
He was the last man to take the pass off Greg Somerville in close. Obviously got drilled in the tackle, but he's a pretty tough customer, Steve Devine. He'll get up and carry on.
That's knocked it on, so it's their scratch. Thank you, gentlemen.
So we'll have a French scrum here.
French. There's no second. We're holding out. Engage. Stay on, flanker.
Good scrum and good pressure. Richie McCaw. Mercer, who's rifled off some very long kicks tonight, was under pressure there, went off the side of his foot. So a good attacking line-out position for the All Blacks.
Yes, this is about 26, 27 metres out. Off the top, hit down by Williams. Major. Hewitt. McCaw. Thorne. Devine. Collins. Well, the forwards getting a hand in it on this one. Somerville and now Mealamu, and they've got about 18 metres to go. And now it comes inside again. That's a Jack and Collins again. Some of the fancy guys out in the back will be saying, let us have it. But the forwards have got this one, and now it's gone to Aloga. And he hurries away his kick with a charge by Dave Hewitt. A quick throw in here by Rokothoko to Muliaina. And now they are going to flash it up from the back.
Don't let go. Hands away.
And it's Joe Rokothoko into Thibaut Prévost. Spencer on the outside break. Intercept by Yashvili. He's done the right thing here because there's nobody else in the picture until Howlett comes back. And now it's Daniel Carter coming up. It's from this kind of play that this All Black team have built a reputation at this tournament and in this season. Major, that's 60 metres out. Now here is Merceron, and this is again gone down the fairway, and this time into touch.
Well, the option wasn't really a bad one. It was just badly executed. It was far too long. Little short one on the ground there by Aaron Major would have been the right option.
So this is Pepito Aloga.
There's a couple of Frenchmen down. I think Yashvili has taken a knock as well.
Just like to see the All Black support structure. We'll just watch this again. But the All Black support structure needs to get behind the ball carrier more. They're coming from wide on the outside. We've just seen some play off the ball here. Nothing in that. If they get players behind the ball carrier rather than wider, they can carry some of that movement on.
What to know off the field? Looks like Brusque is on, the man who played, well, one of the better games for France against England in the test match. In the semi-final test match.
He certainly won't be weakened there. He's a very fine player. Good punter of the ball.
So here's Ali Williams. Not such a good pass. It bounced up to Spencer. And a quick throw in now by Bory to the new man Brusque. Nicolas Brusque. David Bory. McCaw, the tackler, scrabbles it away. There's that palms up gesture from the referee to say it's all right, play on. Muliaina, Rukatoko.
The All Blacks really seeking to get the ball on the outside to Ruggifogo tonight, and he nearly got away. Excellent play here by the loose forward Richie McCaw. What's the tackle? He gets to his feet. He grabs the ball. The referee said he can play it because he's a tackler. An outstanding, he's had an outstanding tournament, Richie McCaw.
Don't go in there.
So Yashvili sends that one towards Ruggifogo. Good jump, and it's gone to Merceron.
In the air when you tackle. No, stop. No. Wheat. It's in.
Wheat. That is Labitte.
Okay.
Well, he's going to talk to Labitte here because...
I'm going to give a penalty. And then please stay calm and I'll have a word with his president. Thank you. Penalty. Tackled in the air.
He said the tackle was dangerous, that Ruggifogo was in the air. And if you watch it here, Ruggifogo goes up in the air and he's tackled. I think he hit the wrong player.
Yeah, it was for the little squabbles that happened afterwards. Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Getting to know each other.
Hongi.
Kevin Mialamu doesn't know French, so...
Wouldn't be a big conversation.
No, exactly. Interesting. All Blacks looking at a short line-out option. McCaw and Collins are out.
I was going to say hongi or tete-a-tete.
Okay, that's been knocked on there, lads. In 15, cans, monsieur.
Line-out's not quite as clean in the last few as they would like them from the All Blacks. So it's now a French ball, and the French look as though they're going to take a kicking option, Grant.
Yeah, a lot of sides use a defensive play here where they'll go to the midfield and use a ruck and they'll scan for space. If it's on, they'll use it. If it's not, they'll kick it. The French are looking to go straight from the scrum.
It is Christian Labitte, hard-working forward in his 70th Test match. There's the captain, Yannick Brou.
What's that, boys?
Yashvili back between his legs. Oh, that's smart. Merceron. And that one's pretty much room service back here for Muliaina. Rukatoko. again, good work by McCoy at time with his quickness to weigh up the opportunities ahead. Steve Devine running. Major. Oh, the tackler there was Sebastian Chabal.
Excellent tackle, but unfortunately his fellow Frenchmen have come in off their feet and have been penalised.
You can just see Chabal here. He drives Major backwards. Just look at the angle. And hopefully we'll see it here. Just comes over Major's shoulder here, in on the wrong side, off his feet. It's Elorga. He's the one who's penalised.
This is near halfway. And the way it goes to touch, it's 14-3 and 31 minutes have gone. This is the third place match. Nothing else in it here but the glory of saying we got third.
Well, they didn't win the last 5-man line-out, so they've gone back to the full line-out option where they've won probably every one of their throws.
Collins shovels it past Spencer to Carter. Spencer. Oh, getting past a few runners and through. Oh, the in pass. No one at home.
Well, Spencer trying one of his trademark passes then, and it's gone inside and put Mialamu in pressure. He made a brilliant break here. The pass has gone astray. Mialamu does not let go in the tackle.
Still think our support structure, John, is not quite right. In behind there, better, but too flat. More depth. That pass would have gone to hand, and the All Blacks probably would have scored. The French are buying some time here. I don't really think there's any injury. These guys are tired. As Keith said, they haven't played a lot of rugby, so...
This is the big man, Thibaut Privat, who came out when there was an injury to Olivier Bruzot. You remember that a couple of weeks ago. So he came in, over 2 meters tall. Another massive man in the second row for France. And that time it's Chabal going high. 10-meter mark in French territory.
Penalty, pulling that down.
Penalty coming for France.
Pull them all down there, lads. Penalty.
And Yashvili decided, I'll take the penalty, thanks, I don't do anything else. He just said, well, I'll take it. The All Blacks then stopping what was a very good drive from the French team. They got a bit of depth in the drive, and effectively the All Black side have taken them all down, penalised, and now we'll have a French line out.
Incredible guy, this Yashvili, in terms of his family. There's Bernard Laporte, the coach. Yashvili's brother was here at the tournament, remember, playing for Georgia. And their father played for France in 3 positions, hooker, prop, and halfback. That's what you call being a utility. 22 line there. Yashvili, Merceron, Marsh hops through the gap. Trey, who's hardly touched the ball, done a bit of tackling. Merceron, and a left-footed drop kick from Yashvili. 3 points for him, and it's 14-6.
Well, the crowd not very happy. I don't think they've come here to watch drop goals.
What's happened to the good old drop goal? Granted, used to be something that was
well, the
admired.
English fans aren't here tonight, Keith. They'd be cheering it.
Gee, John, you remember one when the Lions played Auckland 1983? Young skinny kid drop kicked the goal.
G.J. Fox.
G.J. Fox. They were pretty popular with that one, weren't they?
Yeah, he wasn't criticising it then. Nor was his coach.
Quite right. 14-6. 6 minutes to go till half-time.
Leave it, leave it.
Skinny kid then, Grant Fox. I don't think he even shaved. Before you're an All Black.
Thank you very much.
Away it goes to touch.
I'm not going to respond, gentlemen. Well, the All Blacks wouldn't be quite happy with this scoreline yet. They've created plenty of opportunities, only taken 2 of them. 5 minutes to go till half-time. They'd be wanting at least one more try on the board.
And the French, for their part, to me, are just sort of, just at times, just deciding we'll slow the game down and try to get the breath back, because I think they are struggling. They've won this line out, however.
Try. Look how big he is, the second 5'8". 6'3". 194 tall. There's Tobacco, Yashvili, Labit. Yashvili again. Merceron. Does that one come off his thigh or his upper leg? Collins rolls it back. And Aaron Major is the halfback. Deflection now.
I think he's going to come back and play the knock-on by the French from their kick ahead to give the All Blacks a scrummage.
Don't think that was the right option from Molioina. That had to keep going on the hands, in my view. So perhaps a little lack of communication there. That's pretty even stat. Interested to see the one that shows possession. Doug Hallett's gone wide to the right-hand touchline. There's a lot of space in behind David Buree. Spencer's signalled over there. So perhaps a kicking option from Spencer.
And certainly Bruce, the French fullback, is behind the scrum, so there is space, although Buree has now dropped back further.
So here it is. And it's going over the back of Buree, and Brewster's got it covered. Now it's David Buree.
Well, that's well spotted, and a good territory gain. 3 minutes to go. The All Blacks want to make sure they win their line-out ball here.
Good attacking option for the All Blacks. They worked that out well, because Buree was really on his own for a long while. Bruce was out of play.
Here we go again, being slowed down. I think the ref has got to step in here and tell him to get on with it.
Yashvili gone down.
Interesting. There's John Mitchell sitting there. Keyboard in front of him, man with the plan. Well, for tonight at least. Yashvili, Fabien Gaultier, who played the other night in the semi-final, has gone home. His uncle, who is his godfather, passed away over the weekend, and he left saying, oh, it's Labit who's injured. He left saying it's important for Yashvili to play because he is the future now of the French halfback role.
And he's an interesting looking player, Yashvili. He looks to me as though he's got a lot of variety in his game. Good line-out win for the All Blacks, working to the midfield.
Pass and loop from Spencer. Picked away by Elorga.
Don't touch it. It's a complete mess. We'll scrum down. Blue ball. The first offence is a knock-on. Up again, gentlemen.
The referee's description of that was quite good, Keith. A complete mess.
Yeah.
That was a complete mess.
If he'd said shambles, we wouldn't have disagreed with that either.
The All Blacks not getting their flow out wide there. The back's not in good formation, and the ball dropping to the ground.
It wasn't a great pass.
No, it wasn't a good pass.
We're too flat, and I think at times during this tournament we have been too flat out wide. When the All Blacks have width, it's good. Width is good, but you've got to have depth with it. And at times I think they've been too flat and not getting the ball with a lot of momentum.
Pooks, Brew, and Makane there.
Defensive scrum, obviously looking just to kick. Bruce gone in behind, offside from Devine.
He's offside, number 9. Number 9.
Well, can tell you from a coaching staff point of view, that's what's called a dumb penalty, and Devine knows it, and the coaches sitting up in the coaches box will not be happy. The All Blacks would have got either a counter-attacking opportunity or a throw into the line out with probably one last chance. You can see Devine just in the top the top right of your picture there.
So the French have probably the last play of the half.
Down to the back, over the top it goes. It's a bouncer, and McCaw tidies. Again, that push through into space, but this time Brusque has it covered. Elorga. And this could be half-time. 14 points to 6. Pepito's happy with that one, away to the sideline.
French are quite happy just to kick for touch at the moment, aren't they? Just I think they'll be quite happy to get into a dressing room 14-6 down. Still, the All Blacks have an attacking option. Wide line out.
One last throw of the dice. Howlett's come to the midfield.
France have won the scrum line out.
And it's half time.
So it's rather a quiet ending to the first half. A couple of players still embracing over there on the turf, but it's this man, Yashvili, who has kicked a penalty and a drop goal for France's 6 points, but New Zealand tries by Jack and Howlett. Conversion by McDonald, who's left the field, and Carter. And at the break, it's New Zealand 14, France 6.
Every 4 years, one of the great migrations of the world begins. They come from all corners of the globe and will stop at nothing in search of the great watering hole in the south. "20 nations, 48 games, 1 beer."
The All Blacks leading by 14-6 at halftime. This was the first try. Nice flat ball from Collins sent Jack scampering away. McDonald converted. It was 7 points to 0. They've scored a second try as well. That was to Howlett. As we look at the possession and territory, with New Zealand leading in the possession stakes, but France having a slight edge territorial. Well, Gary Whitten, what's been your impression of that first half of New Zealand? The whole game seemed a bit flat to me, but how do you think the All Blacks are going?
Well, the All Blacks have got ball this time. A huge difference from last week against Australia. And the difference is if you have the ball, you can play. So we are seeing the All Blacks evolve to a point. It's a bit flat. The French, I think, are just making out the numbers at the moment. Happy to see half-time. They may change their team around, but good option from the All Blacks. They've obviously sped up their line out.
Yeah.
They've got some good drive going on with the forwards now. Rushing a few scenarios, but the ball does make a difference.
Yes, indeed, having it in your hand, that's right. The backs, Grant Fox said late in that game that he thought the All Black backs were a little bit too flat on occasions. What's been your impression of that?
Yeah, they have been. From a couple of the set plays with the set play line-out moves, they seem to have been a bit flat. It's difficult, though. They don't want to be too deep because it allows the opposition to drift across and easily cover them. So it's finding that balance. But at the moment, it does appear that there's some passing going behind the guys as they're trying to run onto it. Our most effective attacking play looks to have been the counter-attack play.
Yeah.
The French have given us more opportunities than what the Australians did last weekend, and you know, our guys have used it well. Moriaina, Howlett, Rochthoko, they've all come into play really well.
Yeah, and they've quite a bit of kicking in this half, though, wasn't it?
There was. The French seemed to be prepared to kick the ball out and maybe back themselves to attack our line out. We've tended to keep the ball and play a lot more. Carlos has gone for a lot more chip kicks, really trying to put the pressure on the French and turn them around with Aaron Major and Leon McDonald, now Dan Carter chasing through them.
It's go forward ball. We want to go forward. We don't want to be just heading it flat or going backwards. And so the forwards can get into the game more and more. Obviously, they've realised that.
And it's provided a lot greater variety.
Yeah,
we haven't been one-dimensional all tonight. We've tried a few different things.
And it looks as though they're fired up for it, doesn't it? You know, even though we've said it's a little bit flat, it seems as though the All Blacks in particular are out there to win. As you've mentioned, the French look a little bit...
Oh, yeah, we definitely need to win. We want to win it. Yeah, it's interesting how it goes in the second half. Only 14-6 though, John.
Yeah, all right. OK, we're back with the second half very soon.
So here we are, back at Telstra Stadium in Sydney for the last 40 minutes of Ruben Thorne's World Cup campaign with the All Blacks of 2003. And New Zealand at the break leading by 14 points to 6. They've scored the only 2 tries of the game, and here's big Patrick Tobacco, who's still on the field. We kind of feel at half-time that the French might soon bring on Olivier Magnier. Here is one off the bench. Brian Liebenberg is on into the midfield. Does that mean Tony Marsh is not there? Let's check that. That's quite interesting.
Yes, it looks like Tony Marsh has gone. It also looks as though Privar is gone and Palouse has come into the game. And I think Krenker has also come on at prop. So to put some of the big boys on here now.
Makes it a better team as for France as the second half begins.
Will they have the pace, however, to stay with Norbeck's side, who need to get more control in this first 10 minutes?
40 minutes to play in the World Cup campaign of 2003. So Krenker is on for Pooks. As Collins takes it outside the 22, Steve Devine is New Zealand's halfback tonight. Carlos Spencer, who's played the fly-half role. Liebenberg on for Marsh. Played the fly-half role in all the games. Devine. I wonder if Tony Marsh had a recurrence of that Achilles tendon problem that's been bothering him at the World Cup. And it's an advantage being played here. And here goes Tobacco. Gets it into David Bory. A line-up here, Palouse. And now Chaval running for the corner. They drive on some more. That is the goal line right there. Yashvili. Messeron. Tobacco again. Dimitri Yashvili. That's Christian Labitte now. Yashvili, a couple of French players on the deck, out into the backs, where it's the big man, Makone. So this is a good beginning for France in the second half of this third-place match. Yashvili has looked their best player tonight. Gets it wide to Bory. Coming back is Elorga, and he's under the sticks. Pepito Elorga. What a beginning to the second half by France.
The French have come out to play. The mistake was made by Aaron Major in the midfield, and this is where the play was driven, and eventually it's gone right. Watch Jerry Collins. I think Jerry Collins is injured. He can't move there, and Bory comes inside him and scores. I saw Collins go down earlier in the move, and I think he couldn't take the step. And sorry, it was Elorga who scores the try. Excellent leader and excellent control by the French. They showed a lot more patience then than they had earlier in the game.
Well, we've got a lot of nice stories tonight. Pepito Elorga, he came to the World Cup and then left the World Cup, went home. As Yashvili converts, he went home for 10 days after the sudden death of his father. But he's come back into the team, scored a lovely try there. Converted by Yashvili. Here's the last part of it.
Yeah, good line by Elorga. The drop-off pass on the inside.
And I think you'll see that Jerry Collins is going to leave the field. I thought he looked in trouble. And Marty Holler is coming on. Jerry Collins leaving the field. This will put Richie McCaw into number 8. Certainly got a quick option here.
So there goes Collins at the end of a pretty good World Cup campaign for him. Goes to the sideline. Marty Holler's on. He's come off the bench in 6 of the 7 games at the World Cup. Holler played only 1 starting match. But here he is, another appearance as a substitute. But what a game now, 14-13. With a long way to go. And France rejuvenated.
It was interesting after France scored their try. The All Blacks got in a huddle under the goalpost, and I'm sure there were some pretty stern words. They would have wanted to start well, and this is an area they need to tidy up.
Yes,
Wasn't so good.
The lineup was average in the first half, particularly in the latter parts of the first half. A quick short throw here.
Holler is away. And they're driving him back the wrong way. Mr. Bory, Monsieur Bory, number 11. Claimed by New Zealand.
He's seen it. Knock off.
Knock on picked up by touch judge David McHugh.
Well, I don't think that was the right option from Somerville. Good thinking at line-out time, they wouldn't have thought the ball would have gone short to Holler. And if you just watch here, the All Blacks have got momentum. I didn't really think the pick was the right option. Fast ball to the backs probably would have been more profitable there.
Yashvili has a look. Finds Brusque. This towering kick again.
Number 1, third, and number 4, leave it, please. Thank you. 1 and 4, just twist up.
Referee just talking to a couple of the Frenchmen to settle down. Excellent French from Mr. White.
And that's the one we haven't seen for a while, the shorter, flatter one to the front, and Ruben Thorne takes it. There is McCaw doing the Collins roll now.
Okay, let's play. Let's play. Let go, France. Let go. Play on.
Hewitt, Major. Here comes Bruce charging across. It's got a bit of a roll on it.
Yeah, not the bounce the All Blacks were looking for. Wasn't a bad option from Aaron Major. There wasn't a lot of support on the far side of the ruck, and he recognised that. Brought the play back where the All Blacks had numbers. McCaw did superbly here. He was isolated, double teamed on the tackle, but he fought well to stay on his feet and give his support players time to get to him.
Yannick Brew throws again to that good hard-working line-out man, Tabako. Orudu drives next few line yards.
Thank you, Blacks.
Well, that's about 3 line-outs. Well, this will be the 3rd line-out in the same place. So 2 different variations. Will the All Blacks look for a 3rd variation here? In fact, they've gone to a 6-man option by the look of it.
Big crowd in now. I think a lot of people might have come along and seen there's a few seats, sales outside the ground, and they've come in. It looks, although it's well over 50,000 now.
Thank you, number 6.
Howlett, Muliaina, but knocked away.
Well, some good structure, though. Midfield set up. Forwards carry the ball. Behind the back pass here. And Muliaina just not controlling the ball. I think that's the slipperiness of it. Just couldn't quite get it on his fingertips and transfer it quickly.
Ali Williams leaving the field, replaced by Brad Thorne. I think both teams will go to their bench tonight.
So Ali Williams' cup was over, and Brad Thorne, who played the first 5 games as a starter and has been sub in the last 3.
I think with McCaw at number 8, you'd want a bit more bulk in the pack, so I think Thorne gives them that.
Up goes Orudu, number 4. Palouse is on. Tremendous player. Palouse, France's most capped player in this squad at this World Cup of 03. And there is Shabal. Yashvili with that left footer, up in the air it goes. Not such a good one this time, but it's gone back on their side.
Number 14 here.
His winger was in front of him at the kick. Wasn't a good option from Yashvili. It was obviously a planned option, but he didn't. The execution wasn't right.
Narrow angle here for Spencer to go for touch. He's going to do that anyway. Just look, see how he's holding the ball for the banana kick. Just trying to get right to left curl on it. He gained about 20 metres, so from a narrow angle that wasn't bad. You can see there that Belorga was in front of the kicker.
Well, the All Blacks tried a quick throw in here. Lost the ball, I think. I think it could now be a French line out.
Yes, it's gone to Yannick Brew. There he is. Palouse goes high.
They're getting good drive on, the French. They're getting a bit of control and starting to take this All Black back on up the middle. Good control of the ball on the back of the maul.
There's Makane away from Brew. Yashvili to Eloga. It is good from the French pack this time. Now in the backs. Liebenberg sending it on. Now this is Liebenberg, and he's through the outside gap. The South African-born player. Inside the 22 they rush. Merceron. It's gone to Oradu. Mealamu was the tackler. Merceron kicks. We look for the bounce. It's gone to Howlett. Muliaina. And now the strike force going to be able to do anything? Muliaina takes the tackle. Holla. This is a good effort by France. Attacking defence is good too. Nearly a charge down. Deflected into the midfield play. Offside. The referee says play on. Liebenberg back with Devine. Brad Thorne is there. Mealamu to Spencer. Overlap. And it's Rukatoko. And the Rocket Man goes in. Takes the lead in the try-scoring stakes at the Rugby World Cup with his 7th at this tournament. Joe Rukatoko.
Well, this was good lead-in play. The kick was charged down, which put all of the New Zealand side on side, and then there was a quick ruck. Spencer called for the ball. He worked it wide. Rukatoko was clear, and he's gone in, I think, now for his 17th test try.
In this year, too, and 7th at this tournament.
And 12 tests. It's not a bad strike rate. Good play by Chris Jack. He recognised the speedster was on the outside, marking up on Cheval. That one-on-one contest was going to be always in favour of Rukatoko. Too much gas.
But before that, Grant, John, good effort by the French in the last minute or two before that.
Yeah, some good defence, but they were a bit unlucky. The charge down kick on Major, they got a hand to it, and that put all the All Black forwards onside, and then they had the numbers.
Hyatt goes against the big stands on the far side, where in just 48 hours from now the Rugby World Cup final will be played. This is the 3rd place match, remembered, New Zealand. And now out to 21-13. Well, that'll be a New Zealand throw-in as well.
Well, the plan here when Spencer kicks is not always...
It's a quick throw. It's taken, and Brad Thorne will benefit by dashing in under the posts. The referee had a look back at the possibility of a forward pass, but the New Zealand thinking was too quick there. Brad Thorne scores try number 4.
Well, the All Blacks have quickened the game up here, and it was really good thinking. The ball goes into touch, and then it's Howlett who's given the ball inside to Brad Thorne and has sauntered to the line. But it was quick thinking, a quick line out, quick work, and then the All Blacks have taken the try. Brewster made the serious mistake of not catching the ball on the sideline, which has given the ball to the All Blacks, who took it quickly and took the opportunity.
It was the deep kick from Spencer that caused it, because the All Black players were running forward. The French defenders couldn't get back. Spencer wasn't necessarily aiming for touch as we watch it again. Good communication between Howlett and Devine. Good hands by Howlett. Short pass. Good support by Thorne.
They certainly looked at the forward pass, but I wonder whether, if you went back, I'd like to see the replay, whether the ball went in 5 yards from the line-out. The All Blacks getting this game by the scruff of the neck now.
So Jean-Jacques Krenker is on now, number 17.
Not quite the time this time, Carlos Spencer, so couldn't set up for the long kick. quite happy to put it in the touch. Short line-out option from France.
Rafael Ibanez is on as well. Number 16.
He's caught it over here. There's no contact there at all. What would you like, Blacks? Scrum or the line-out?
Not straight to the line-out. Not a good start for Ibanez. It's given the All Blacks a scrum. Devine clearing the ball well tonight, giving us the backs good time outside him.
McCaw, Devine, Howlett goes down.
Advantage. Still advantage. You're offside there.
So Spencer knows it's advantage and he's going to have a go in his own. And he finds a hole. Intercepted by Trae.
He's going back to the offside at the ruck.
It was Borrie, I think, who had rushed too quickly at Spencer, jumped the gun. And we just saw the magic of Spencer there. He knew there was advantage, so he could take them on. Quite happy to do so. Did it pretty effectively. Well, it was number 6.
Cease.
See, about my only understanding of French, I can count to about 6.
Mistake here from Spencer. He hasn't found touch.
Devine gets away from Brusque. Yes, he does. Brad Thorne. Oh, that's a lovely tackle again. That's the second or third one we've seen tonight from Chabal. Devine. Spencer. Referee Chris White of England.
Starting to penalise the French a bit. Off their feet at that ruck. I must say they were all offside wide in the back line too when the ball did come clear.
All right,
excellent tackle.
All right, Grant, what's that French verb? Plonger.
Plonker, offside.
Could be. Plonger, I think it's diving, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. When you think about it, that's what it sounds like. I'd still like to see the All Black backs stand a bit deeper.
Good territory gain then by Spencer off the side of his boot. And now the line-out option. And the backs are lined out pretty deep here.
Howlett has gone.
Olivier Marnier coming on the field. Olivier Marnier is replacing Patrick DeBacco. So he's bringing out all his experience now as they try to stop the All Blacks, who are on a roll. Line out inside the 22.
Devine, Spencer, Carter, Howlett. Stopped by Alorga.
Listen up. No, they're not. Let go, Fabian, let go.
This is inside the 22. New Zealand have scored 4 converted tries. And now here's Howlett trying to find a track. Borrie has caught him. Mealamu. Oh, this is looking good for a try for Mills Muliaina. And he gets it, goes in the corner where he had that anxious time against Australia. This time it's a try. There's a bit of a scuffle breaking out as the New Zealand fans celebrate. Uradu and some of the other players. But the try is there for Mills Muliaina.
Good hands from the All Blacks here. Good clean passing and put Muliaina in clear. He was always going to score because the French only had Palouse out here, a big man, and once he was beaten, the try was going to be scored.
It was a good sequence play too, John. The going wide didn't quite complete it. They cleaned the ruck. They came back to the midfield. They went to the far side again. Then an in-pass to Howlett coming back this way. Created the overlaps back where the set piece started.
Howlett did really well, didn't he? Because he broke through some tackles, went through their forward pack and strongly set up the ball. Daniel Carter. he makes no mistake, and I guess the bells are ringing for the French right now. Grant, trouble, I think the All Blacks have got the French where they want them.
Always a good ploy to bring the play back where the set piece started after a few rucks, because you can generally get backs on forwards, and that's the mismatch that guys like Spencer and Muliaina look for.
Well, the New Zealand try scorers tonight, 3 of them, Rugby, Howlett and Muliaina, dominating the top of the try scoring here at the World Cup in 2003. As another kick-off is missed by New Zealand. Knock on.
Well, good set-piece opportunity here for France. They haven't had much ball in the last few minutes. Perhaps they're looking to come left.
Those 3 New Zealand backfield runners have scored now 20 tries between them at the World Cup, 7, 7 and 6.
I think the All Blacks have turned this over.
I'm trying. No. Dimitri, leave it. Thank you, number 1. Thank you very much.
Things are getting just a little bit testy between these two sides at the moment.
Well, Jack did well here on Merceron. He ripped the ball off him. That created the turnover. And it was some footwork on Jean-Jacques Krenker that caused that testiness. So
Steve Devine spoken to by the referee because he's questioned a couple of his decisions.
So they go quick from the penalty. McCaw caught by Merceron. They drive hard over the top, and now it's in the backs again. Carter takes on Traoré, and now Aaron Major. They're running it hard now, and Hewitt now gets it back. Nice clearance by Brad Thorne. Pushed to David Bory. And they're running up on him, and he therefore has to kick back to touch.
Well, the All Blacks clearly at half-time have talked about upping the tempo of the game. The French were struggling in the first half to deal with the pace. The All Blacks are trying to take it to another level. And they've gone out to 35-13 on the back of that tempo. Some good structure coming into their play now. 6-man line in option. McCaw is standing inside Spencer. Look, Howlett's in the midfield. Look for something a bit wider.
Thorne nicely out into the backs now from Spencer and Devine. Carter is caught. Devine again, Mealama. They're playing with a lot of... There's a big hit gone in there from Liebenberg, but it didn't go forward. So they have it again. Major. And the runner out there is Reuben Thorne. And there is another example of the skill we've seen from Yashvili tonight. That was a volley away to touch.
You can see what the All Blacks are trying to do. They're bringing the ball back to where the set piece started, looking for that mismatch.
They got it there, didn't they? Because Major was on Oradou.
So there's one forward standing, and that's Thorne. So they're leaving one forward on the near side of the field and looking to come back.
It's like a prize fighter, this guy, isn't he? Gets cuts a lot each game. There's a cut man in the team. Well, we got one of those boxing cut men in the All Black squad. Probably England's got 2 of them.
I like the attack that the All Blacks organised then with Carter breaking through. And did you see McCaw, a little bit more depth coming on him, and that was what they needed in the first half, and they're maybe getting it now.
Well, that helps keep the ball alive in the tackle, and very hard to defend against that. Once again, McCaw is out, standing inside Spencer. Howlett at second 5'8", basically.
Devine. Marty Hola. Manure slow to get up at the back of this one, and that's running ball again. Pushed through, and Howlett's after it. He's got the bounce. He's lost it forward.
He'll be disappointed. That was a great kick by Carlos Spencer. He just put it over the top Howlett got control, but then loses it in the tackle. A good covering tackle, and so it's a lost ball forward. Scrum, France ball.
Well, planned move, really. They wanted the clean ball from the line out. Did it very, very well. And good defence too by France to jolt the ball loose.
It's good to see him a lot more free tonight. Dougie Howlett, he hasn't had, you know, last couple of games, hadn't been quite the player he was earlier on. But he's looking for work tonight, isn't he? And he's getting it.
Well, he's certainly getting some ball tonight, and that's helping. Possession stakes are in favour of the All Blacks, contrary to the match against Australia. And you can see what they're able to do when the weight of possession is in their favour.
So now they move away into a little committee meeting as one of the French players is down. This looks like, is this Yashvili, is it, or is it Palouse? Palouse. '27 times captain of France, as McCaw gets some more treatment.
Well, what a wonderful tournament Richie McCaw's had. I see the local commentators here were picking a World Cup 15 of all the players in the World Cup, and obviously Richie McCaw was the open side flanker on that side. He is the best exponent of that game. He's got tremendous potential, great leadership qualities, had a great season. Great attacking option here for the All Blacks.
So the goal line is just behind, and there it is.
Well, Spencer behind the scrum, Mulioina behind him. The midfield split with the wingers.
So a nice flick back. Spencer.
Forward, no.
That ball went wrong from the scrum. It went back to Spencer, went through to Devine, went through his legs. He gave it to Spencer, who tried to work it on the outside, but he got it too flat. If you watch him here, he gets it flat, and then by the time he makes the gap, he's pushed the ball forward.
Interesting to see, though, that move automatically creates extra numbers for the All Blacks on attack. And that's what they're looking for.
And here's Frederick Michelin coming onto the field. Had a disappointing game against the English at first 5-8. Gerald Misseron leaves, and Michelin going to be given the opportunity to come back into this game.
And a great career ends. 31 tests, Gerald Misseron. And you saw the French flags there waving for him, a signal of a wonderful career for him over from the Montferrand club. And so the new combination for the years to come, Yashvili and Michalak are on. Tonight's attendance, 62,712. And that's pretty good.
The French have now emptied out their bench.
No, let go, Blacks, let go.
19 is Magna. And they've always used Brusque for the big punt back from the rucks and mauls. There is Nicolas Brusque. He went to the World Cup in '99 and didn't play any games at all.
I think it's a good move bringing Michalak in, Bernard Laporte there in picture. I mean, he is their future, and he did have a disappointing game, but I think they'd want to try and make him finish the tournament on a positive note.
Sorry, lads, up we go. Let it go.
A big Yoda, as they call him. Somerville gets it away nicely to Spencer. And there's a high one coming down for Brusque. Takes it beautifully.
Good take to Brusque.
Good
going to work it away here.
And there's Michalak on the field where he had such a disappointment the other night in the semi-final. Yashvili finds Michalak again. Damien Trahi. So all 22 French players have been used in the game. There's the left boot of Yashvili again, and he's bounced it to touch. And this is a rare incursion into New Zealand territory led by Yashvili's kick.
Don't think that was the right option, though. Ball on hand, they had some numbers. Just going back to the punt, the high kick from Spencer. The French midfield ran great interference and protected their fullback very well indeed.
So we have a All Black line out inside there, just on their 10-metre mark.
Remember, these two nations played each other at Twickenham, World Cup 99 in the semi-finals.
Not sure we need to be reminded of that, Keith.
Sorry, mate, I wasn't alluding to anything, just a reminder. But this is the third place contest, of course. And this is a wide one out again to Muliander to Howlett. Ruben Thorne.
Moving. Capture it.
The French have been penalised here for playing the ball on the ground at the tackle. Ruben Thorne took the tackle. And somehow the ball comes back. The mysteries.
Oradu it was. Went to ground in the tackle himself and ripped the ball free under the referee's eyes. So another opportunity here for the All Blacks. They've been using six-man lineouts quite effectively this half, and look at the possession that Carlos Spencer has had. Much more tonight than he had last Saturday.
And Dave Hewitt leaving the field. Carl Hock coming into the All Black pack.
So that's good for Carl Hock, number 17. He gets on again. Just had one starting game at the World Cup. And he's tracking this one as it goes out now to Holler, and it's lost forward.
The French were well offside, and they're starting to do this now. They really are starting to get themselves way out the advantage on trying to stop this All Black onslaught. They are struggling.
And the referee getting some advice from a couple of the New Zealanders.
Well, McCaw had seen the penalty given there, and he was trying to get the ball to take the tap quickly.
Palouse down for the second time.
He didn't look too good either. Feel the pain here, Keith.
The French will have a problem here. He needs to stay on because I don't think the rules allow him to be replaced. They've emptied their bench. These are different than Super 12 rules. In the national rules, the only player that can go back on is in the front row. So the French will need him to get up.
Which is a bit of a... it's not a great rule, is it? Because the lock is just as vital to the scrum as the prop is, really, in terms of keeping solid.
There's Chabal. He's a commentator's nightmare, that guy, Chabal, number 8. He began the tournament as a peroxide blonde. And now he's as black as the night. And here is Palouse. The game resumes. Quick tap, swinging to the left. Carter, ridden down by Liebenberg, heading out towards Rokothoko's side, but now Ruben Thorne takes it in to the new setup. It's midfield. Jack, who scored the opening try. Somerville. We talk about blokes looking to score their first try for New Zealand. Greg Somerville is another. Goal line looming. Hard driving here. And in the background, Brad Thorne shrugging off the play. There's a bit of a tussle with those guys out there. It's Ibanez and Thorne. The ball is there for New Zealand. Mealamu goes into Ibanez.
Okay, that's the right player.
Holler. Oh, there's some rough stuff going in here, some tough stuff.
Leave it. Careful, please. Leave it, no back foot.
And once again, it's Rafael Ibanez, and this time Hoff. Out to the backs. Let's see what happens. Major. Oh, Liebenberg, he's done some very good tackling. Hits hard on Major. And Palouse was in there as well. He doesn't look 100%. Nice work to Brad Thorne. 5 metres out, this French resistance is holding, but only just. And Devine has denied his try again.
Well, that is great defence from France. They were desperate on their own line. They rushed forward to give the All Blacks no space as we watch Aaron Major going down the channel where the big fellas are.
Pretty courageous tackle there by Palouse, wasn't it? If he's not 100% on that shoulder, he didn't shirk it.
Pretty courageous of Major to go down that channel too.
That's a point. So there's a few battered and bruised people on the field at the moment as their Rugby World Cup. Hammett is on now for Mea Lamu. Their Rugby World Cup comes towards its end. This game, they say, there's never much in it, but this has been played with a real willing spirit tonight.
Well, that's actually since the more experienced players have come off the bench. They've upped the ante. They're the ones who've really got stuck into it, because it wasn't as physical in the first half, but it certainly got more physical at this stage of the game.
And Mark Hammett comes on to replace Kevin Mea Lamu before this scrum goes down.
So here's a man who we also look to see whether his rugby career goes on. Mark Hammett, at the end of this series, this sequence, this World Cup. And Labit drives hard away from that scrum. Yashvili high to Michalak, and that is not out. Carlos has got it. Now they can swing it wide. Howlett is out with Major further out, and in pass. Very good tackle by Michalak. Stops it there before it can explode closer to the line, but New Zealand have got plenty of players back.
That's out, boys. Let's play on. It's out. Move, tackler.
Spencer to Jack, lost forward.
No more. No more. You're tackling and
Been better support from the All Blacks this half, John. So they've got in behind with a bit of depth, and Spencer could throw the ball back there, knowing that support was there to get the offload tackle game going, which the All Blacks like to play, and they're much more threatening when they're in that mode.
Chris Jack did well here, but the French have been penalised again for stealing the ball in the tackle. The French are just hanging on now.
Ten metres out from the line. Once again, the All Blacks have got enough room to go off the top if they want, but I rather feel that perhaps they might look to drive this and peel it away to get into the French inside backs.
No one touched it. No one touched it.
Bradthorne takes it. Hammett drives hard. Holler. Marty Holler, he's got McCall with him, and Holler gets the try. Good reward for a solid World Cup, Marty Holler, playing off the substitutes bench a lot and getting a try here tonight.
Good driving play here. The All Blacks set it. Holler got the leg drive on. He was caught short here. He looked to turn the pass. He held possession, then drove over with support from Richie McCaw.
Yeah, initially it was Hoff to help drive him through. See, he's left onto him, and then it was Richie McCaw who helped push him over the line.
Well, the Steinlagers will be tasting a little better tonight, I think, for this All Black side at the end of this match.
%100% record.
He struck the ball well too.
No problems with goal kicking, Grant?
He's a good timer of the ball, this man.
Gee, how much did we talk about goal kicking this year in the New Zealand rugby scene? That's not his best one, but it's New Zealand 40, France 30.
Can you tell me about the commentators' hex, Keith? Because every time we talk about something like that, the goal kickers go and miss.
Silence is golden, boys. Showing you to try again. That was just good leg drive from Marty Holler. As you said, Keith, he's had a good tournament. Whenever he's come on, he's added impetus to the attack.
Well, that one went 10 metres and not touched by the New Zealanders. They've not had a happy time in fielding the kickoffs, have they?
Well, I think the French themselves pulled off there because they didn't think it was going to go 10 metres either.
A six-man option again, where the All Blacks have really started to win their own line-out throws. And McCaw has gone out to the midfield.
There's that same move that was on earlier when Mayalamu was there. Now it's defence there by Michalak. And now here he is again. It's a brilliant new star of French rugby. And they try to make a shocking piece of acting there. That was Oscar quality.
Scrum down, a blue ball because they're going forward. He's won it on his feet. He's then gone down, so the attacking side have to put it.
This guy's played well. Sebastian Chabal from Bourgoin, his 20th test.
Yeah, good skill at the ruck. Stayed on his feet. Was able to rip the ball up. So France get an attacking scrum opportunity. And there, blindside winger Barry has gone right across towards the midfield, but he is very, very deep indeed.
Caleb Ralph looking to enter the fray. And it looks like Joe Rocafoco. No, they've changed their minds. And it's Daniel Carter. Daniel Carter took a knock just about 5 minutes ago and was on the sideline for a while, so possibly that's the reason.
Yashvili, try, Brusque, Eloga, Bori.
Well, the French were really expansive then. They were deep, wide, and trying to get the ball wide, and unfortunately the mistake was made, but at least it was endeavour. A little bit of concern here.
Damien Troy.
Did he get hit in the face here? Let's just have a closer look at this as they came back. Yeah, Joe Rocafoco hit him in the cheekbone. That was momentum in the tackle that caused that.
And the blood bin will mean that he comes off and...
Yeah, blood bin. Carter can come back on.
Yes, for blood bin he can.
So Daniel Carter goes back on. A lot of comings and goings here.
So 4 minutes to go, fellas. Will this win appease the fury that's around in New Zealand? Is it fury? Is it the concern, the worry that so much promise, so much talked about for the World Cup hasn't been a victory? But this is a pretty good victory for this one. Ibanez, Yashvili, Chabal, Michalak.
First one blue, second one black. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll have a black scrimmage.
This has been a good performance from the All Blacks tonight. They've got up. They've had some problem getting structure, but generally they've played very, very well tonight. 6 tries to 1. That's a pretty decisive victory in an international against a side like France. So I'm sure this is a good way for them to finish the tournament. This is what they had to do tonight, and they have delivered for their coaches and management team by winning comprehensively against this French side, who haven't given up and have tried pretty hard tonight and have put a good effort in, but just haven't had the class to stay with the All Black side on the front foot, which was a little bit different to last weekend, where they never really got on the front foot.
That's against Yashvili, such an advantage, and here's Howlett, well caught by Alorga. He's got a lot of gas. Pepito Alorga, he turns quickly and chased New Zealand's very quick man Howlett.
Yeah, the All Blacks expensive to the end. This is the game they love playing. You can see Howlett. Well, hard call there for the touch judge. Perhaps he didn't get that right.
One thing I'd like to say that I think the refereeing in this tournament has been quite outstanding. I think right through we've seen excellent refereeing displays, and the whole combination of the officials has worked very, very well in this tournament.
It's the 22 there. Time running out on the 2003 World Cup for these two teams. Liebenberg coming off Michalak there. Picked up by Somerville. Hands it straight back to the Frenchman. That's a nice thing to do. Oradou out to Mania. And he's thrown it over the touchline as Oradu didn't connect. Connection not complete.
Let's come back here. Let's not split. Please be quiet.
Manu wouldn't be that happy with this effort.
He had a big look, didn't he?
He did have a big look. I think
Chris Jack.
I think he was looking for the plane home.
I suppose if there's one player here who might be looking to improve his form before the big matches in the Northern international season, it might be Olivia Manu.
Getting towards the end now with a minute on the clock.
Stand up.
Calmez-vous.
Calmez-vous. We're getting some new French.
I think I understand that. That's being calm, isn't it? Howlett's behind Daniel Carter here, so they'll keep attacking the All Blacks.
Here it comes. Last rattle. Last roll of the dice. And New Zealand will go down swinging, if nothing else, at this World Cup, leading by 40-13. Rokethoko, oh, a big head high, and it's cut down the star New Zealand winger.
Okay.
And Eloga.
Number 11 there. Thank you.
Nothing happened there.
It's too high. I believe we've got the time on the clock, so we've got when you kick it out, that's it. That's it.
Ooh.
It's up to you.
So the problem there is not really the head high, it's just this bit here with him going back.
On his knees, but he very supple. Last chance for the All Blacks, I think, to finish strongly. They're looking to.
There's Manu through on Spencer.
Let go, Blue.
Well, it's going to finish any minute now. And for weeks and weeks this World Cup, New Zealand held its breath, and it hasn't worked out in terms of winning the World Cup, but this is a win in the third place match, so it's something. It's not much, but it's something. New Zealand win the third place match over France by 40-13. It's over, and a sense of relief already on some of the players' faces from both sides. Yep, you can see that. And perhaps disappointment that Rokethoko didn't get away in that last rush. A lot of disappointment. The rugby traditions of changing jerseys now will continue.
Not a lot of elation is there out there tonight, and you can understand that, because even though this has been a very good win, the memories of last Saturday will still be with them.
Yeah, they didn't get what they want out of this tournament. They came for the big prize, but they'll feel a little better now. Still, you know, the summer will hurt, but they can go home a little bit happier that they put on a good performance and what was always going to be a pretty tough game to motivate themselves for.
And I think it is important that New Zealanders acknowledge that this team is a young side. They're trying things. They've played a lot of good football. They didn't quite get there last Saturday night, but they've had a wonderful season. And, you know, they go into the summer, they can have their cold Steinlager tonight and enjoy their night, and then look to the summer and come back again next year. As they go and acknowledge their fans, there's been, you know, this has been a difficult tournament for them. As you say, Grant, they haven't got what they wanted, but they've done well for us tonight. They've come out and delivered the blow they had to.
And there's a lot of New Zealand supporters on the far side, and you see underneath the caption here, which tells us the score and the scorers. The New Zealand players are going across to the other side for some waving back to their fans who paid a lot of money to see these games. And Rokethoko ends the tournament with another try tonight. Look at the battle-scarred face of Richie McCaw. Ali Williams, big progress for him after, for a while, it didn't look as though he was going to play any role in the tournament at all. And Mills Muliaina, I think the final total for him is up at the top of the table too, 7 tries. So it remains for the other teams to try and catch him in the try-scoring stakes, and I don't think they'll do that. New Zealand having the 3 top try scorers at World Cup 2003. And big Yoda
hasn't got one yet. He'll be back next year chasing that elusive test try.
Be back at the World Cup next time, I'll be bound. As we go to the French captain underneath the stands, Yannick Brou.
Yannick Brew, well, disappointing for the French tonight. The All Blacks just too good.
Yeah, certainly. We had a very young team tonight. We wanted to make a best game, but the All Blacks were definitely too good and too fast for us tonight. So congratulations to them, and I hope we will be best in the World Cup 2007, which will be in France.
You seemed to contain the All Blacks in the first half. Second half, they seemed to gain momentum and couldn't be caught.
Yeah, we defend a lot during the first half, because when we have the ball, we kick too many balls and we give them back too many balls. In the second half, we came back into score, and we received 2 silly tries, and it was very disappointing for us. And physically, we went down, and the All Blacks finished harder than us.
A solid campaign for France. You'll be proud of the team.
Yeah, we are really disappointed by the loss in semi-final, and I repeat, we had a very young team tonight, and I hope we will do best in the year which are coming.
Yannick Brew, thank you. Safe trip home.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yannick Brew, who has never played outside France and speaks his English from learning it at school, and does it pretty well on behalf of his team there. New captain for the future, so they're telling me. And there he is, captain of the beaten French team tonight. And here is the victorious New Zealand captain tonight with Bernardine Oliver Kirby.
Well, Ruben Thorne, disappointing last week, but satisfying to end on a winning note.
Yeah, I guess we've got to be happy with the way the guys picked themselves up. You know, last week was heartbreaking, but the guys picked themselves up and you know, come here to win.
How tough was it during the week, Ruben, to actually get the guys motivated and to fire up for tonight?
We had no choice, you know, we had to move on, and as I say, you know, the guys have done really well. They've picked themselves up from what was a pretty shattering event, and we came out tonight and threw everything into it.
Well, the team was stressing during the week how important it was to finish in style. That second half, pretty impressive.
Yeah, at times, you know, we got a few tries there, and it was good to see the guys throwing it around. You know, we really wanted to play with the ball tonight, and you could see that out there. The guys threw it around good.
I know you'd prefer to be playing on Saturday night, Ruben, but you must be proud of the team over the last 7 weeks. Pretty tough campaign.
Oh, it's been a tough campaign. You know, we didn't get what we wanted, and you know, we're you know, pretty heartbroken about that. But you know, the guys have all grown and had a good journey, and you know, I think this tournament has been special, and it's been great for rugby, and would have grown it everywhere around the world. So it's been fantastic from that point of view.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thanks very much.
Well, there it is. The tournament has come to an end for both New Zealand and France. New Zealand finishing third with that 40 points to 13 victory over the French. Just one match remains. That's at the weekend. So the All Blacks have beaten France by 40 points to 13 tonight at Telstra Stadium here in Sydney. Their campaign has now ended. They finished third, and joining us live from the ground is Carlos Spencer. And Carlos, thanks for joining us. I suppose it felt a little bit better out there tonight, getting back into the old swing of things that the All Blacks have enjoyed so much this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously a good result for us. Yeah, I don't think you know, things went to plan. You know, obviously our set piece wasn't great. And I think if anything was disappointing, that was the main part of it tonight. You know, we couldn't really get going. I think we just sort of played off scraps and turnovers tonight, which we did very well out of. But again, our set piece wasn't that great.
We can understand, of course, that the feeling wasn't quite so good going out into this game, when obviously the plan was, or the aim was, to be playing in the final next week. Was it really difficult to build up for this one?
Yeah, I think personally, I can't speak for anyone else, but yeah, personally it was hard to build up for, but you know, I think each individual did their job during the week to get themselves up for this one, and they realised they had to. But you know, obviously coming off after Saturday night and only a short turnaround, you know, it was definitely hard getting up for it.
There must have been a desire from some of the other players to get involved in this game, and do you think there was a temptation maybe to change the team around a bit after the devastation, I suppose, of last Saturday's loss?
Yeah, I don't really know. I suppose yeah, might have thought that way, obviously. But, you know, obviously John and Dingsy gave the starting 15 another chance to obviously get out there and have another go, especially after last week. So, you know, that was thankful of them. And, you know, we sort of went out there and did that tonight. And, you know, we can hold our heads high. You know, we had one hiccup during the season, and that was last week, which cost us big time. But, you know, we're happy to finish with a win.
Sure.
Yeah, Loz, it's Robbo. Mate, the counter-attacking and the play from turnover ball's been a real feature of your guys. How hard have you worked on it? Because it just looks like real instinctive for you at the moment, especially those guys at the back.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really worked on a lot, Robbo, bro. You know, just with the skill and the flair we've got in the backs, you know, they're great with ball in hand, and you know, on turnovers, you know, they're quick to switch on to that, and it's something we haven't really worked on, and I think it's just built in the guys that are around the back there.
And Carlos, I think even over here in Australia, people have been saying, well, the All Blacks have been such a special team. Despite last weekend's loss to Australia, there must be satisfaction at the way, as John Mitchell said, the journey has progressed this year. There have been some real highlights for you over the season. I'd imagine that, apart, if we take out last Saturday, of course, it's been a fantastic year for the guys.
Oh, definitely, and that's what people have got to realise, you know. We had a hiccup last week, and we can't look at that as our season, you know. The guys have had a wonderful season, the team's gone well. You know, obviously the bidders are in the Tri-Nations. It would have been nice to get the World Cup, but that's behind us now. So we've got to look at the whole picture. And that as this side has had a great season, and that as a whole has been pleasing for this team. It's only a young team, and you know, I think it'll only get stronger from here. It
surely is a positive that it is a young team. Carlos, you've treated the fans around the world to some splendid rugby this year. Thanks very much for that, and thanks for fronting up tonight. Enjoy the break.
Boys. Thanks. Will do.
Good, that's Carlos Spencer. He has, hasn't he? He's created a big impression around the world where people were saying, gosh, how come, you know, Carlos Spencer is there and others have missed out? But he really has proved that he's been the man, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's just this wonderful talent with the ball in hand, and it's a shame, you know, in the Australian game he wasn't given the time and space that and the ball for that matter, to show what he can do. And when he's comfortable in expressing himself, there's, you know, no greater, you know, playmaker around.
Sure. Some of the positives, Gary, as we now know the season has ended for New Zealand, but if we look for positives from the forwards in particular, what are they, do you believe?
Well, we've brought a lot of young players through. You can talk about the backs, but definitely in the forwards too. It's a growing of a pack, you know. The tight five has grown in stature. There wasn't the best set pieces tonight, has already been stated. You know, we wanted to work off those, but we didn't quite have that. So there's a lot to work on still, but you know, one-off performances. Chris Jack's proved himself to be a world-class player.
Sure. Well, we'll just interrupt you there, Gary, because I see that Ruben Thorne's standing by. Ruben, thanks very much for joining us here tonight on One Sport. I've got Gary Whitnam and Mark Robinson with us tonight. My first question, what did you do as a team to sort of overcome that disappointment of last weekend in order to get ready for this game tonight?
Well, we had no choice, you know. We were terribly disappointed, obviously, and no, we really wanted to pick ourselves up and finish on as high a note as we could, and no, we really were determined to come here and win.
Was there a temptation to field other players? I know you're not the selector, but it must have been one of the options there when the players are mentally exhausted after last Saturday night.
Yeah, you know, talking to Mitch and Robbie, they wanted to put the onus on the guys who'd done the work throughout the campaign and give them another chance. You know, they put the faith in the guys to go out there and finish with a win.
Yeah, Rube, it's Robbo. How tough were the French, mate? Like did they approach it with the sort of intensity that you expected, or were they a bit flat at times?
Yeah, I imagine they were, you know, the same as us. They obviously would have been disappointed last week, but you know, they also would want to finish on a high, and you know, they climbed into it. They're a very good side, very talented side, and you know, typically French, they tough up front, uncompromising, and you know, if they give them half a chance, they'll throw the ball around and use it well.
Ruben, Gary Whitten, well done. I know what it's like to have to front that game, and well done to the guys. The French set pieces, the scrum, the line out, very strongly, very competitive, and I thought it was very hard up front there for you guys for a while there.
Yeah, it was. They're very good there, and you know, I think perhaps the only team that's bettered them for the last few years has possibly been England. You know, they're very strong there, and their scrums, you know, very strong, and I think, you know, their line-out's as good as anyone around the world. So you know, we knew that would be a big challenge for us. And, you know, we just wanted to go out there and compete as well as we could in those areas.
Ruben, I know it's probably not much fun talking about last weekend, but people are still interested in it as to what went wrong. And I think on reflection there, you've had 4 or 5 days to think about it. Are there things there that you think, well, maybe could have been done during the game to affect the result of that match against Australia or not?
Oh,
in hindsight,
there probably is. Yeah, I mean, you know, all during the week, and you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one. All the guys and the players and the coaches, everyone would have been racking their brains as to what we could have done differently. But you know, you get one opportunity, and once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah. And you know, that's just the way it is. And you know, we had to pick ourselves up and move on, get ready for this week. And you know, as time goes by, we probably will look back at it and think what we could have done, and you know, in the build-up or during the game. But you know, at this stage, it's just a matter of putting it behind us, trying to forget it and moving on.
Ruby, you'll be just looking forward now to getting back to Christchurch and spending a bit of time in that old car of yours, won't you? Just cruising around with the window down and taking it easy.
Oh, mate, I think I can speak for all the guys. We're looking forward to getting home, and you know, it's been a long, hard year, and this campaign in particular has been pretty tough, very draining, you know, physically and I guess emotionally, you know, especially in the last week or so. But you know, the guys are looking forward to getting home to their families and you know, friends.
Yeah, Ruben, we appreciate you coming out tonight and talking to us here on One Sport. It has been a long, tough season. It's been successful for much of it too, with the Bledisloe and Tri-Nations Cups there, but we know this is the one you wanted. Well done on a season. We're sorry you couldn't take the extra step, but thank you very much, and enjoy the break over the summertime, Ruben.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. That's Ruben Thorne there, chatting after tonight's victory over the French by 40 points to 13. We're getting into the forwards and the positives to come out of the Rugby World Cup in particular for this All Black team, but the year in general. And we talked about the youthfulness of the team too. So the forwards, there's some young forwards there, aren't there?
I think it's important to take in the year in general, you know, not just that one game where we could say, well, look, Australia seemed to outmuscle us or didn't give us the ball for most of the game. But we've brought a lot of new young players in. Mia Lamus have come in and taken the world by storm. If you've taken the teams that toured New Zealand and the Tri-Nations, and you know, it does look good for the future. Yes, it's a hard pill to swallow now. They finished this part off well, which would be great for them going into the next season. And you know, we're in good heart. We've got a young, exciting team.
And we've got this depth there too, isn't there, Mark? I think that's so important that we've seen players get injured. The cover has been there, and I think this is a positive part of the selection policy of this team.
Yeah, our domestic competitions are working superbly for us. The Super 12 and the NPC are throwing up more and more talent. We've seen with the recent Super 12 selections that there are, you know, a whole raft of young players coming through now. Like you say, we've got the likes of Ben Artinga being called into the squad. We've got the likes of Dan Carter coming off the bench. They're fantastic talents, which in time, when they're allowed to nurture, will be, you know, wonderful players.
All right, and we know there's a depth and a real battle for that halfback position all throughout the year with several contenders, and one of those was there at the Rugby World Cup and played tonight. Steve Devine. Steve, thanks for joining us here on One Sport. I suppose if we discount last week, it would have been a thrill to get out there and play against the French, because they're never an easy team to play against, are they?
Yeah, no, they come out and fight into us tonight. Sort of started well, and then they climbed back into us really tough, and so that second half of the first half was quite tough.
Steve, Gary Whitten here. Didn't get across the try there. I thought you had 2 or 3 chances there to get that first test try, but wasn't to be. But how'd you find that All Black pack behind you and the French forwards in particular, and how robust they were?
Yeah, no, it was good. Sort of when we got going forward, it was good, and you know, it's a great pack. They make it pretty easy for you. Yeah, and the French came at us pretty strong at times tonight. They really pushed up off the line pretty hard, which made it tough at times. So, you know, when we got to go for it, it was pretty easy for me out there tonight. And, you know, when it wasn't, it was tough.
And you think you're going to get across the line?
Always trying. I keep having a word to Doug through the week to throw one of those balls, but
he won't do it.
He'll never do it.
No. It looked as though you were having a word or two to Chris White, the referee, tonight too. Were you was just passing the time of day at various stages?
Yeah, well, there was a. You know, the French are tough, and they like to play tough, and we'll keep it at that, I think.
Stevie, it's Robbo here. Mate, I was just wondering, through the week, well, through last week, Byron came out in the media and said he was like a dropped Coke can, ready to get out there and play. You've had limited opportunities. How were you feeling before the game?
Yeah, obviously we had a pretty short week as well, so just had to be, you know, try and get the systems and stay in them tonight. I was a bit rusty early on. You know, it was tough, a bit greasy as well, but you know, the boys know the plan, and they've trained so hard for it all year, and you know, sort of once you get in there and settles down a little bit, it was good. The skills come back just like riding a bike, I suppose.
Yeah, good. Well, Steve, what are you doing after this? Are you staying in, where is it, Buggabree or somewhere?
No, I'm shooting home back to Auckland for a couple of weeks, and then coming over to see Mum and Dad for Christmas.
Excellent, mate. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on a good season, Steve, and get in there and enjoy the night and the next few days with the team, and we look forward to seeing you back in the country, back in New Zealand later on. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's we're talking about that depth, Mark, and I suppose one of the areas we're looking at though is first five halfbacks. There's lots of them out there, aren't there? The guys that were in the All Blacks when you went away last year, but I'm wondering about that number 10 spot. That seemed to be the one area where we know we've got Major who can move in, but first fives around.
Yeah, we've got the likes of Dan Carter as well. And I guess with first fives, they do take a little bit more time to mature. You know, we've seen possibly the downfall of inexperienced players here in this tournament with the likes of Michalak when he came out in the semi-final and didn't perform so well. So they do take time to reach their peak probably, and someone like Carlos is, you know, exemplifies that really with the way he's developed in the last couple of years, his game. So, but like I said before, I think the talent is there and it'll emerge and yeah,
know, we'll number 10 is very important, and I think what you'll see is that the All Black game or a team's game revolves around the number 10 and vice versa. So that's why they don't come forward as quickly, because you need to understand what game they want to play. And the All Blacks play a certain way. That's the way Carlos fits that mould. So, and these guys will come into that now. Well, our game will change a little bit, I think, in the years to come as well.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty to look at tonight as we review New Zealand's performance at the Rugby World Cup, and also, of course, throughout the season, as we have a look at our top point scorers from the All Blacks during this Rugby World Cup, with Leon MacDonald, who, of course, came in as the goal kicker late in the game, as particularly when, well, we had the Tana Umaga injury, which upset, I think, the midfield. Leon MacDonald filled in quite adequately, there's no doubt about it, and was so valuable as a goal kicker. Daniel Carter, we know, missed very few in his outings. The leading try scorers were Doug Howlett and Mills Muliaina with 7, and Joe Rokothoko with 6, so plenty of All Blacks getting on the board during this World Cup. And in fact, the three New Zealanders leading the try scoring, and that back three, which of course was so dangerous. And you could sense, couldn't you, Mark, that when it came to playing the top teams, their one ambition was to slow that ball or to prevent New Zealand getting ball, because they knew how dangerous out wide was in the back three for New Zealand. Yeah, they're universally recognised as being lethal, and you know, they're quick, they play well together, they're very instinctive, like Carlos said before. They've got a fantastic understanding, and they can crucify teams if they're given opportunities. Unfortunately, we didn't see them get the opportunities we wanted against Australia. But again, tonight they illustrated just how good they are. It's going to be a battle, though, isn't it? As Australia went out and said, OK, how do we stop them getting the ball? They stopped the back three getting the ball by stopping the All Blacks getting the ball.
That's exactly right.
That'll be the tactics of lots of teams now, won't it?
Most definitely. You know, we have to have the ball, whether you're getting the ball from your set play or from your rucks and mauls, which we weren't getting against Australia, or the opposition is kicking the ball back to you. And no one's going to do that with our back three anymore. They're not going to kick it back to us. So the game plan is getting harder for the All Blacks, and it puts it more and more onto the forwards. Yeah, and also it puts it more and more onto the coaches, doesn't it? What do we do from here? OK, they're onto us now doing this. What do we do to utilise this strength that we've got? It's tough out there being that coach. Yeah, I'm interested to see that Greenwood's got 5 tries. I wouldn't put a lot of money on him getting 6 or 7. Yeah, well, I don't know, actually. I think we'll talk about that final soon, but I just wonder, they showed against Australia in Melbourne, I think it was, after they played the All Blacks, that they could score some pretty good tries. It was a different Wallaby team, but they've got some potent material out wide, the English, haven't they? Yeah, they have. Will they use it? Yeah. I think they will. I think they'll give it a go. They've practiced and you know, they've spent 2 or 3 years getting to this stage, and they've played some great rugby while doing it. So I've got no doubt that they'll try and move the ball if the conditions allow. They've got a very well-balanced team, and they can play 2 or 3 different varieties of games. So I think they'll move the ball around. All right, well, we're going to have a look at one of the tall men who galloped across. I don't know, Chris Jack, but I reckon that most other people would have taken 15 strides to get over that try line. It took you about 4, didn't it?
I'm not too sure, mate. It went pretty quickly, so I can remember.
It was a great ball. Like Jerry Collins passed you that flat ball and you were through those 2 tackles and away without even breathing, I think. A good feeling, was it?
Yeah, it's pretty excited. It's my first try this year. It's been a long time between tries, and to get it in the last game is pretty good, mate.
I've got Gary Wetton here, who played the odd game as well, who might have a question for you as a part of that locking group.
Yeah, Chris, well done. Great 60-metre try, mate. Couple of fends and it's worked. Reminds me of old times, and well done for the second row. But I noticed the All Blacks have tried to speed up their line-outs now when it comes to the calls and the ball game, and just trying to get a bit more go-forward momentum going, and it seemed to work for a while, but then it got a bit messy at the same time.
Yeah, it worked a little bit better this week. The crowd wasn't quite as loud, so we could hear what was happening. But yeah, a few of the calls got a bit messy, but I mean, we were reasonably happy. We came away with what we wanted. It was a bit of a tough week for us, but we're happy with the win.
Mark, have you got a question, Robert?
Yeah, Jacko, it's Robbo here. You'd just be looking forward to a bit of a break now. You've got something a bit major coming up sort of towards the end of December, haven't you, that you'll be getting organised for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, old boy. We've got a few things coming up. There's a few celebrations coming up with my Crusader friends, so it should be a good time.
Is that as far as you're going with that? Chris, during this year, there have been some fantastic performances by the All Black pack. The lineouts have often been under scrutiny, and yet during the World Cup, it seemed to be pretty much spot on, didn't it, until last Saturday. So you must have felt really confident going through this World Cup that the line-out was working well, did you?
Yeah, we're pretty happy. We put together a library of line-outs that we were happy with, and they worked pretty well most of the time, apart from obviously against Australia, but we've still got things to work on for next year, so it'll be good.
I asked Ruben Thorne before the same question on reflection. Now that you've had 4 or 5 days to think about it, can you, in your own mind, think what maybe you could have done to, make the lineouts work a bit better or not? Against Australia, that is.
Yeah, I guess your point of just speeding them up, but I mean, under the circumstances, it was a pretty intense situation, and it was pretty loud. We couldn't really get a lot of communication through. So I mean, the lineouts just didn't work that night, and it just didn't work for us, and that was the way the game went as well. So it was just one of those things.
All right, well, the fans have been very supportive. I know back home you've had tremendous support from New Zealanders, haven't you? So I hope you enjoy it when you get home. Enjoy your summertime, and we look forward to catching you again in the Super 12 next year. Chris, thanks very much, and well done on a great year.
Thank you, and thanks to New Zealand for sticking behind us.
Exactly, yes, all right. OK, that's it. Some of the key players from the All Black team after tonight's game, which they beat the French by 40 points to 13, have finished third at this World Cup. There's one game to go at this World Cup. It's the final on Saturday night, which we'll have live for you, and that features England and Australia. We're back soon. Just having a look at the leading point scorers from Rugby World Cup 2003. Michalak, the only player to get over 100, but one would imagine Johnny Wilkinson and maybe Elton Flatley will get there at the weekend. Leon McDonald, the leading New Zealander, with 75 points and in 4th place. Well, we're really delighted now to have the other Thorne of the team join us, Brad Thorne, who's joined us now live from Telstra Stadium. Brad, nice of you to join us. And Robbo, Mark Robinson, wanted to have the first question to you.
Thorne, I was just wondering, mate, the tight forwards seemed a bit slow to move to those tight-fit jerseys. You were one of the first to just reach out there and grab them with both hands, mate. Talk me through that.
Oh, yeah. I was actually looking for the new issue without the sleeves, but no, sorry guys. Yeah, on a serious note, as you can see, Jacko got a try tonight also, and as a result of that jersey, so purely for the football, not for the image.
Now, Brad, if we go back through the Rugby World Cup, you must have really enjoyed it because you got quite a bit of game time, didn't you? Starting a couple of games when Ali Williams still wasn't right, and then getting on as a substitute. So have you enjoyed this one?
I've certainly enjoyed the World Cup. I've enjoyed the whole year. It's been fantastic. People of Christchurch and New Zealand have treated me really well. A lot of support in that, and I feel very thankful. And yeah, back to the World Cup. it's been fantastic. Always like starting, but this has been my role, and you know, whatever's best for the team. You know, as long as I get to wear that tight jersey.
Yeah. Thorny, another big occurrence in your life this week. I understand you're congratulations on being a proud father. I understand.
The news is out, is it? Okay. I had a son on Wednesday, I think. Sorry, Tuesday, I think. Can't remember. It was pretty emotional. But yeah, it was unbelievable, and yeah, one of the biggest moments of my life, and I was very proud of my wife. So,
yeah. So you were over here, and she gave birth in New Zealand, was it, Brad? Or
she's actually a Sydney girl.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, guys. This child, my son, was born not only in Australia, but as a blue in New South Wales. So, yeah.
Not everything can go right for you. And apparently they do have really junior tight shirts too, so you'll be able to get one of those very quickly.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yep.
Yeah. Now, Brad, what about the? It always comes back to this, doesn't it? The other leagueies who've changed to union. Did you mix much with Lottie Takeri and Matt Rogers and Wendell Saylor at all after the game last week, and sort of chat old times or anything, or was it a bit sour?
Yeah. It was really tough, but we actually went into the dressing shed and wished them well through gritted teeth. It's a really hard thing to do, but yeah, I caught up with Lottie, and he was actually feeling pretty stoked about the situation, and I was happy for those guys. They've had a real good crack.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think people have enjoyed watching the leagueies have a go. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what do you do over the summer, Brad? Now that the rugby's finished for a week or two, you'll be into training again soon, I imagine. But what's your plans for a break?
Straight into the bicep curls for the next season.
Yeah. And into the beach.
Sorry, straight to the beach. Yeah, probably head up to Queensland and spend time with family and friends. And spend a fair bit of time on the beach, yeah, and get to know my son.
That'd be great. Hey, congratulations on the birth, and congratulations too on a very good season, Brad. We're all sort of, I suppose, like you guys, still sort of a little bit, not a little bit, still hurting over the result last weekend. But gee, it's been a great season, and you've impressed everyone.
Yeah, all I can say is all the guys have always tried their best this year. It's a tight unit, and sadly it didn't happen. Not much else to say, but yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks very much for fronting up. Brad Thorne there. And as we go back now to Telstra Stadium, because it was an amazing moment, I thought, when we saw the two teams run out onto the field, and leading New Zealand, of course, was their captain, Ruben Thorne, but leading the French was that ex-New Zealander, Tony Marsh.
Well, here we have French centre Tony Marsh, and a man very familiar to the viewers back home. Tony, I understand this wasn't probably a match you shouldn't have played, but one you weren't going to miss.
Yeah, I think Bernard wanted to give everyone a run and give the whole squad opportunity to play during the World Cup, so I wasn't supposed to, but I asked Bernard if I could play this one. Yeah, the last couple of games against the Blacks, I missed their injury, so yeah, it was just good to get out there. Unfortunately, the result didn't go in our favour, but yeah, good to play against the Blacks for the first time.
And a special moment, leading the team out and also facing that All Black haka for the first time. What was going through the mind?
Yeah, actually, so at the last minute before we ran onto the field, the captain, Gobby, asked me to lead the boys out, so I was a bit, yeah, and honoured to lead the team out, and yeah, face up to the haka, yeah. So it seemed a little bit strange out there, actually. A few of the boys were having me on and were telling me not to do it at the same time. So, but yeah, it was good.
And it's always a tough match to play in this player for third and fourth, and even harder for you guys really with a short turnaround. Just a hard night at the office for the French, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think not only us, but for both teams. I think after last weekend, both teams are obviously very disappointed with the losses, and it is hard to get up after 4 or 5 days. But it's the way it is, I guess. I know the French guys. A lot of the guys haven't played too much rugby over the last 6 weeks. It's basically only their second game, so a lot of them are struggling for fitness-wise, but I guess the Blacks will be a little bit fatigued after their game, 5 days ago as well. So.
Tony, just to finish on, a real quick prediction for the final. How do you see it going on Saturday night?
Don't know. I think it's a pretty hard one to call. I think as a me being French, I think, you know, I definitely don't want to see the English win, but I think the Kiwis won't want to see the Aussies to win. But so it's a hard one to pick. But I don't know. I'm hoping Australia will get up for it, but you know, I think they've got their work cut out as well. I think, you know, England are a very good team, a side that's very complete, you know, all over the field. So yeah, I'm not predicting too much a difference between the score, whichever way it goes.
Thanks very much, Tony, and a safe travel back to France.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, he said one of the stars, really, of that French team this year, who got to the semi-final along with New Zealand, but then beaten in this playoff tonight for 3rd and 4th. Well, as we get ready to go, I think it's probably a chance for the two of you to summarise your feelings about the All Blacks during this year, a rating perhaps, or just talk about their form.
Oh, I think overall it's been a successful year. I mean, it sounds funny. It's always going to be tainted by this, you know, the result last week. But if we look further than that, we've seen the development of some fantastic talent and you know, a good core of players who are developing experience all the time. I mean, any other year, when you consider New Zealand went through and won 5 out of 6 games against New Zealand, against Australia and South Africa, that would have to be a very successful year. But for one result, you know, it's viewed differently. So, you know, the camp seems happy. You know, the right noises appear to be coming out of the side. The players seem to be, you know, having a lot of fun doing what they're doing, yeah. And I think they're developing their game all the time. It's probably going to take a bit more time, but we aren't going to see a high turnover of players, which is another plus. So I think we're in a pretty good state at the moment.
Okay, you agree?
Well, we've definitely got some very exciting young players coming through, and experience, gaining experience. No great experience in playing a World Cup, and unfortunately, losing in a semi-final, that's what you call experience, is losing. Because if you're any good, you'll come back, and you'll come back a better player. And history's shown that. It's a hard one to fall at the last hurdle on what was a fantastic year, a great year. Yeah. And I suppose that's what New Zealand and the players will take something out of that. You know, rugby is a seasonal sport, and they've done very well. If anyone said the All Blacks would win all those games but lose at the semis, well, we wouldn't have accepted that. But there's some great things to come of it. I think hopefully the team will stay together. Most of them will be back. They've shown the world how to play rugby now. Yeah. That's a big plus.
Same coaches?
That'll be a big question, but no one plays rugby like the All Blacks are at the moment. We just sustain that and improve on it, which I think we can.
All right, well, that's good. That's Gary Wetton and Mark Robinson with their final word on the All Blacks throughout this season. Of course, as Clive Woodward says, it's you can be the most stylish team in the world, but if you don't win, who cares, basically? And we've got that final coming up for you, of course, next Saturday. But what's coming up on One Sport from the Rugby World Cup? Well, highlights with Jason Fa'afoi, who's having an early night tonight to make sure he's all fresh for that. And then we have live from 8:30, quite a good build-up to this match, the final of the 5th Rugby World Cup between Australia and England. And we'll be joining Keith Quinn and Grant Fox and John Hart at Telstra Stadium for that. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. A great way to end the season for the All Blacks. Great was too strong a word, I think. A very good way for the All Blacks to win, to finish the season, winning by 40 points to 13 against France. From the team here, good night.
Until we go out there, over mountains, oceans, highways, byways. Still I'm thinking you're there with me, tag team, us two, straight through. That's why I stay strong to you, so I never think.
The 2003 Rugby World Cup was proudly brought to you by Heineken. Visa and Coca-Cola.